She had some gray.
Man,
And Moses doesn't want you to see his face because he's definitely wrinkled up.
he
Hey, what
probably,
happened to Moses, man? Moses had all the ladies, man. Where are you, Moses? Where are you in here?
No, no. Moses is definitely gray and wrinkly.
shit.
But it's good to see you, Al Ferry.
About to
Man,
Yeah,
say,
good to be here, Joe.
yeah,
Long
man, I
time no
haven't seen
see.
you. Haven't seen you in a dog's age,
Yeah,
man.
been a minute, right?
Dog's age.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Lou Mitchell, it's been a long time since I
now
seen you
Lou
as
Mitchell,
well.
I ain't seen in a long time.
God, I haven't seen Lou in a long time.
Damn. Lou, you're starting to look like me.
the, the, the only person we're missing from the what did they call us? The four of us, the
Inhibitor brothers.
inhibited brothers. We were the
Yeah.
inhibited, and the other was Joe Caldwell. So the four
Joe
of us,
Caldwell.
yeah, but Joe is it's hard to Joe is big, big time.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I sent him an email, but I didn't get any response.
he had to be one of the most prominent trial attorneys, criminal trial attorneys in the country.
All right.
Yeah, he took my
great.
money. Yeah, sure did.
Yeah. I think we had Elbert English on before, but I'm not sure where he went.
Uh-huh.
You know, Rodney was trying to teach an old man how to get on Zoom.
Oh, okay.
Well, you see how I got on, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, that's because you're still using Skype.
No, that's because my daughter hooked it up for me. I have no idea how to do this.
Damn. Well, that's because of all that swimming, man. You know, the water.
That's because I had a great secretary and I never had to do any of this kind of stuff.
I see. Uh-huh. But hopefully we'll get Elbert on. But you know, I guess the Little Rascals finally got 54 years under our belt. So
That's right. Congratulations, guys.
Isn't
yeah,
that something?
Thanks.
I heard you
and of
talking
course,
about.
and of course, you brothers got a little bit more than that.
Oh, there's Moses.
Oh, there he is.
There it is. Yep.
There
hear
he
me?
is. Did they let you out of the home?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Are you taking your medication?
Take your mute off, brother.
I don't know how to do that.
You know, yeah, we can hear you. Don't even look. We can hear you.
Okay.
Just talk, Moses, slowly.
All right. Yeah, y'all talking about me. It's bullshit.
There he is.
We're always talking about you, Steve.
Who the hell is on this call?
Hey, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now we're cooking.
You got the seven and the Rascals on here.
Oh man, outstanding.
Yeah, the seven. Well, what was your line name?
Magnificent Seven.
Magnificent Seven.
Right. Ozzie Roberts.
You don't remember that, Joe? He put
That's
you back
all right.
online,
That's all right.
man.
See, no, see.
Yeah, well, you know what?
He's slipping. He needs some neck. He's
Yeah,
slipping.
yeah.
We didn't.
Al Fairey?
I need some ginkgo
No
biloba.
shit, ain't that something?
If we had
Is that
tattled
Al
his
Fairey?
ass a couple
Oh,
more
my
times,
God.
he would have remembered if we didn't hit him enough
Like
times.
$1 million, man.
Yeah. Well,
Mm.
yeah, we're trying to get away from that that paddling stuff,
Oh, really? No more of that's going on?
Oh, hell no.
no, you can't
Boy,
have that
the
anymore.
man's no fun.
No,
What's the latest? What school was it that just had the?
that was down south. Yeah, Ben knows all about it because they
Yeah, ain't nothing. Right now, okay, let me get y'all straight. Right now, they're still going through investigations.
Yeah.
So there's no comments being made by anybody, okay?
Okay.
Grand Bosco speaks for the fraternity and nobody else. So the best thing you can tell people when they ask you questions is, hey, it's still under investigation. We try and get to the truth, whatever it is. Those who partook in it are expelled, right? And immediately expelled, and we're still working on it.
Wow.
Well, as they said, there could be alternative truths.
Huh?
There could be alternative truths.
Yeah. Well, like I say,
What your president says.
well, let me put it this way.
Alternative facts, right?
Yeah,
well,
alternative
yeah,
facts.
that's
Yeah.
it. But that ain't me. Like I said, I'm in the mix all the way. So what could I say?
Did somebody die? Did somebody die in that situation?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
2 or 1?
1.
One.
Yeah.
One person died.
Ben, you and Rodney should be banned for excessive violence anyway.
Statute of limitations that ran out.
That's the truth.
The statute of limitations that ran out.
Yeah, no, we've we've been dealing with that even with MSP. That's kind of changed a lot. So, but we're learning. Especially in this day and age, lawsuits are like a dime a dozen. So
Yeah.
What are other fraternities doing? They're not paddling anymore.
No,
That's all done with.
that's
Done.
Look, the Panhandle met in 1988 in St. Louis. You do away with pledging as we know it. Okay, the fraternity went into moratorium in 1990 for a year, and to regroup the program went to intake. So it's been a few programs since that to get rid of that stuff, because what you don't want to happen is you don't want to end up going to court and they subpoena your rituals
Yeah.
and find that you have quote unquote violence in the rituals. And they say that's your way
See
of
what
life.
happened?
All we
What
gotta
happened?
do.
Well, what happened?
And you know what,
They heard
man, if we're gonna talk serious, we talk serious. If y'all want to be some fucking clowns, we can be clowns too.
Well, they
All
heard about what you all did to us, and they said we gotta stop
No.
that.
That's not what we did to you, man.
I mean, y'all be
Start off-
clowns.
You don't
Go
have
ahead.
a clue.
I'm good. I'm good with that. Okay,
You guys
and
start
we
off-
can
you
do what
don't
we
have
want.
a
But when
clue
y'all want the real
for what
facts,
we
that's what I'm
went
about.
through.
Okay, I'm in it. I ain't got time to be playing
You came
around.
in there after damn swim meet with the upper body strength, like it wasn't gonna hurt, and they heard about your shit, and they said
you guys can't say that I paddled you more than once or twice that whole time.
that
I
might be
wasn't
true.
into paddling, man, because
That
I
might
thought it was
be true.
bullshit. I
That
used
might
to
be
always say, paddle us all you want. It's not proving a thing, and I still maintain that.
Yeah.
So
Hey,
I didn't. If I paddled any of you guys, you think back, it wasn't more than once or twice.
That's
I wasn't
true.
into
That is
paddling.
true. I remember that. That's true. That's the truth.
I wasn't
That is
into it, man. I used to tell the cats when they were trying to kick our ass, I said, this doesn't prove a thing.
Right.
Here's another fucking time. Go ahead. It doesn't prove a thing. And I still to this day believe that.
So how has the thing changed? How have things changed? What do you do now?
I'm glad you
What do I
feel
do
that
now?
way,
I don't-
Walter.
I don't.
I'm glad you feel that way.
brothers. I'm gonna call the house to order.
Okay.
About time.
I'm trying to get Elbert on. He doesn't have the PC connected with a camera and all. He's trying to do it through his phone, but downloading the app was taking too long. I don't think he had enough space on
Yeah,
the phone.
Albert needed to start working on
Or
that
he's
the week.
supposed to call If in. he just clicks on the link, it'll
It'll just take him right. But if he's never done it before.
It didn't.
But the link that you sent in the email today, Rodney, it redirected.
Right.
At least on my computer it did.
Yeah.
Oh, he's not using the computer. He's using the phone.
Well, he should
But
be
if
able
he
to
used
He
the
has no
link,
camera or speaker on the computer.
Well, he can't have a rotary dial cell phone. Okay?
right? No, he's trying to connect with his
I don't
pager.
know. Aristo 5. Who's Aristo
Who is
5?
that? Is that Elbert?
No.
Aristo 5. Hello, Aristo 5.
Is that Albert?
Mm-hmm.
Hello?
Take your mute button off, buddy. Whoever you are.
Probably don't know how to do it.
It's the little red thing at the bottom. You see it's a little red symbol at the bottom with a crossbar to it. If you click on that, it'll turn it on. Whoever Aristo 5 is, if you can hear us.
I don't know. I don't recall. It's obviously somebody in the list.
Lost Moses too.
It's gotta be.
There it is. Aristo 5, we can hear you now. Speak up.
You can hear me now? Okay. But you can't see me, can you?
Albert.
Aristo 5, is that?
Yeah, what's happening?
What's up, bro?
Okay,
What's
we're
going on, man?
straight.
Mr. English.
The hell, what's
Uncle
going on?
English.
You
Wow.
know, it's one thing about the bros, man. They always talk shit, man.
That's Elbert.
I'll never forget the first meeting I went to when I had gone over. We went to Rochester, Theta Omicron, and we were at one of their meetings. And then one of the guys were talking. The boss was getting on somebody's case, He said, man, he said, why you don't pay your dues? He said, shit, you just went out and bought a yacht the other day. I said, damn, they lied to each other like that?
Yeah.
Whoa.
What? I didn't quite understand that, but that's all right.
Well, that's Elbert.
Way to make interest, bro.
Right. Right
Where your camera on, Albert?
He can't. He's on the phone dialing.
Yeah. Albert,
Oh,
Albert still has a rotary.
Yeah, well, at least we got him on.
No, not my son and my grandkids. I don't have a rotary, but I do have a land base. But my son and my grandchildren gave me this phone, and they brought me into the 21st century.
Nice.
So maybe Rod, you should tell me who's
before
on.
that, I had like a little small block phone, like it was, I couldn't do this type of thing. This phone here does a whole lot of stuff.
So you got a flip phone.
oh no, this is just an Android. This is a regular,
Yeah,
Android, man.
Okay. Well, welcome to the 21st century.
Yeah, that's what it is. I had one classmate, the classmate that helped me to write my valedictorian speech in high school.
Where's
and she always tells me, she says, Elbert,
Braswell?
You're the only one that I have to call directly. I can't put you on the group text. I said, a group? I didn't even know what the hell she was talking about at that time. A group text. And then she's going to talk shit. I said, well, I was about to go out and buy you a phone myself.
Brother Elbert, Walt Braswell and Mike Askey were possibilities, but I don't see either one.
What are you talking about?
Well, Braswell's on.
Yeah, Braswell.
Where's Walt?
Under Lauren Smythe.
Where's Walt? Walt's on? That's cool.
You can't see his face?
Oh, I'm looking for Walt. Oh, that's
got
it. He didn't change the name. He didn't change.
Why do you think one of us changed?
Yeah.
Instead of Willie Buck, huh?
Hello.
Okay, now I get it. The guy that was in the swimming pool. Okay.
Yeah, either that or Walt. You an ugly woman.
All right, so Mike Askey's the only one that we're missing. Okay, that indicated they might. All right, so I'm gonna get started, gentlemen.
Nobody heard from Ozzie?
Yeah,
we're gonna get to that in a minute.
Okay.
I want to welcome everyone. You guys remember 54 years ago when we went over with bald heads? This was an opportunity for us.
That was just today, wasn't it?
Yeah, for you it was, yeah, right. We wanted to take advantage of technology and kind of reach out to the brothers who brought us in and share some time with you because we know time is going fast. Yeah. So I'm recording this. And I'll send you all a link to the video once we're done, so you can have it for passing down or posterity or however you want to handle it. But right now, I wanted to have a moment of silence for the brothers who have gone on before us to Omega chapter real quick. Then we'll get into the meat of the matter. Oh, shoot. I lost my song. All right. We are blessed to have with us some of the brothers from the previous lines that brought us to this point in history.
Yes, sir.
But I would like to hear from each of you, whoever's the oldest line, the oldest line, and then the next one after that.
Persistent 16.
So yeah, whoever's on the right first, and then the next line after that. Please give us, kind of tell us where you're living, what your career was all about, and a memory about your experience with our line, the Little Rascals.
So I gather you want me to speak first, since you said the oldest.
That'd be you.
You look all.
Yeah, I guess you're right about that, man. Well, I reside in Elizabeth City, North Carolina. There's one black college here called Elizabeth City State University, and this is like a little town, but it's starting to really grow. But I've been here for about 25 years. I retired from the State University of New York. I was there for about 28 years. I was 50. I was the Associate Director for Student Personnel Services when I retired. And I worked 20 years as a substitute teacher here in North Carolina.
Oh.
High school. I tried to do middle school. I couldn't deal with that. That's too young, man.
Yep.
I couldn't deal with that group. And as far as remembering stuff that you guys did, one of my memories with the Little Rascals, I can remember dating there's a woman, a young lady that I was dating, her named Cheryl Russell. And I can remember Rodney, somehow Rodney was up there in the room where they was like Cheryl and Karen Page, and they had another roommate. There were about 3 of them in that room. So, and I was messing with Rodney because he was a pledge at the time, and I was telling him to go down to Marshall Street to get me a burger. And one of them, like I think it was Karen Page, she spoke up saying, "Oh, why are you bothering him? Leave him alone." I told her, I said, "Well, hey, I can bother him as long as I want to bother him." I remember that. But I remember you guys were real sharp though. You didn't over drink or anything like that, like Roger's line. Them guys. But I remember you guys were real sharp.
That's called Rodney trying to get everybody drunk with that Danish Copenhagen sherry.
That was Ozzie.
What was he trying to get y'all? What were you trying to get him drunk with? Did you have any joints? Y'all having the joints?
No, we had a bottle of Copenhagen Danish cherry.
What was that? Was that a liqueur?
A liqueur. It was a liqueur.
Rodney kept feeding the Ozzie so he passed out.
True. I was gonna ask you guys, like, what of all the tests that you were giving at the end before you went over, which one of those tests? Was there any of those tests make you hesitate?
Getting my hair cut,
no.
Moses.
Nope.
Setting our hands on fire.
The one test is with the nails in it. That's the board that had the nails in it. When you feel those nails, and then you got to just drop down on it.
Right.
Now, see, that would have been the one. That would have been the one that would make it go through your mind. But then when you're going over, you don't even think about any of that. Just do whatever. Just drop down.
The one we got to stab. No, the one we got to stab somebody. That was the one.
Oh, you can't stab somebody. Oh, yeah, that's a tough one.
And needless to say, both of those are gone.
And then the peel. Yeah. And what about the peel? You got to take this peel.
That's gone too.
Say Ben. So how you been, brother?
I'm doing well, bro. I'm doing well.
That's good, brother. That's good.
But they had to change all those. They had to change all those tests.
So they don't have those tests. So what do they have a test at all now? Is there any?
They have different stuff going through, but not that anymore. Because
they don't have that.
They're looking to try to do away with anything showing violence to detriment. And because what they're afraid of is if they should subpoena that ritual and they saw you stabbing somebody or start dropping on some nails, we'd have problems.
Yeah. So everything has changed drastically since 1968. That's when I went over 1968. And I remember Ben always telling me, "So yeah, bro." I remember. Well, I said, "What do you remember, Ben?" It's a Silent Sam. And every time he would say that to me, I said, Silent Sam, you of all the things you remember that.
No shit. Silent Sam,
Yeah.
So what are they doing now when people pledge? I mean, what does a pledge period consist of?
4 weeks.
No, but what goes on? I mean,
you have study every week. They do.
They take them to the library and read lullabies to them.
You know what? I'm gonna stop that.
Bama.
Y'all pissing me the fuck off.
Bama.
So y'all sitting on the damn sidelines, wanting to know what's going on.
Hold on a second, Ben. Go ahead.
You know what, Rodney. Rodney, we got some fun tonight. I'm gonna just step back and come out of my DR seat, and we just have some fun.
Right.
Okay. So,
yeah,
Braswell
asked a good question.
No, you know what? No, we got some fun because I can talk to Walk offline.
Okay.
See, because I'm the one keeping the frat alive. You know, and I ain't got time for that.
Don't misunderstand me. I'm not questioning.
No, not you. No, not you, Walt.
Because my position always, when we were pledging, is I thought the whole thing was stupid to be kicking our ass like that because it wasn't proving anything. But I understand that it did separate some of the people that just couldn't deal with it. But I didn't think that's what a fraternity should be about.
Well, you know, and what we both know is that brothers who took the most wood or whatever are not the best brothers.
That's right.
Okay, we found that out.
Yeah, no question about it.
So you know, so that's why they do that kind of garbage. You know, and like I say, being a former DR, you in charge of the 5 states to keep the fraternity running. You know, and the 2nd district, New York, New Jersey, Maryland, Delaware, Pennsylvania, I ran that from 02 to 04. You know, so when we talk about this kind of stuff, I'm on the serious end. I ain't got time for that foolishness.
Yeah, no.
But you and I can talk offline, okay?
No, I support 100% what you're saying. I supported it back then in 1967. I said this is bullshit. So you can kick my ass all you want, but I don't think it proves a thing.
Right, because we noticed that from that last piece that's going on, they have, I guess certain chapters feel have their own I guess traditions and whatnot, and that's detrimental. It makes no sense whatsoever. It made no sense whatsoever, and they weren't even online. Okay, that mess was unsanctioned.
They really didn't have any association with fraternity then.
They were not online. And see, that's one thing about Kappa chapter, since I've been around, as far as the grad advisor, we ain't doing none of that garbage. All right. And we ain't having no old brothers coming up there trying to do that either, because they know what I'm willing to do. All right. They know what I'm willing to do. Like I say, if I got dialed 301 or 310, your ass is in trouble. Plain and simple.
We've changed for the positive.
Well, I think it's all a very good change and stuff. I was speaking historically. See, I'm speaking.
Right. Of course,
I know that the days modus operandi is a whole bunch different from the time that when I went over. I went over in 1960.
Well, Elbert, do you remember Tom Pryor?
ATP. Oh yeah, I know Tom Pryor. I remember Tom. I just talked to him the other day.
Well, Tom Pryor is on the Zoom, and he still has the Trans Am, I think.
I don't think he has that Trans Am anymore. But he's got some other cars though. I don't think he has that Trans Am.
Yeah.
Albert,
I tell you one thing though. I was impressed with that Trans Am.
Oh, yeah.
When we graduated, Tom said, "Albert, you want to go for a ride?"
Yeah.
Man, when you get into it, you feel like you're on the ground. And man, when he was shifted, you felt a G-force.
Such stories.
Let you say hello. Listen, brothers, Ozzie Roberts is on the phone.
Can you give him the dialing number?
Yeah, so go ahead, Ozzie, say something.
What's happening, you boy?
What's up?
Damn. Yeah, Ozzie's got something at the church. So
is he on the West Coast or the East Coast?
Yeah, he's on the West Coast. He's
West Coast.
San Diego, right, Ozzie?
Who was that that just asked if I was on the East?
None of your business, motherfucker.
That
None of
was
your business.
Walt Braswell. Walt Braswell.
Don't ask who I am.
Yeah,
Shit.
he said he knows it was you.
I'm gonna dial in after he finishes. We'll be on.
Yeah, and he said if he was on the East Coast, he would have been on.
All right.
But he's on the West Coast because San Diego's a little more laid back.
He just doesn't know how to tell time. He doesn't know what time it is. He doesn't know what time it is on the East Coast or the West Coast.
Ozzie Sinclair Roberts Jr.
Yeah, we got Lou Mitchell on here as well. So and Tom Pryor's on here as well. So
wow,
that's cool.
TP, he's still calling you TP.
That's okay.
That's what I call him. I still call him TP. I still call him.
It's preferable to some of the other things
Albert English
called
says he still calls him TP. So, so you're getting ready to go to a church thing? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah. It's in a couple of hours, but the brother is coming to pick me up in like the next half hour.
So
so you can't give us a half hour? You can't sign on?
I can just, if I can get off, if you guys let me get off, I'll just get off.
Okay, well, I sent you the information. Sign in. Albert's using his phone, so I'm assuming you don't have a rotary anymore, right?
Well, you know, he must be a whole lot more advanced than I was.
I mean, Ozzie was in journalism, so he got to have a laptop with a camera on it.
He's got to be a lot more advanced. Yeah, he's got to be a lot more advanced.
Try to call in, so
he got to have a laptop with a camera. He was in journalism.
Mercy. That's great.
Yeah, but Tom, we were talking about how the frat has changed from when we all went over, and I think one of the first things I think they tell the candidates is we are financial organizations. Here are the fees, and you got to learn the history. Even the undergraduates, we've kind of gone away from those old days. And I think some of these young bloods are trying to replicate that. That's why we've got this one issue down south where the one candidate.
He wasn't a candidate. He wasn't a candidate. No, because there was no line. You can't be a candidate if there's no line.
Okay.
We don't need no misinformation out there.
Right. Okay. And we also, it looks like we got Frank Torres jumped on, Wild Bunch, 1975. We're trying to get all the 70s brothers to at least participate. But it's nice to see some of your brothers. And of course, the first thing I've got to say is I love you all, man. You're all in our hearts. We know you from way back. And Ben's been keeping down Kappa Chapter.
Ben has been doing a superb job.
Absolutely.
Marvelous.
Yes.
Great.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
He's going to give us a report in a minute. He's going to give us a report in a minute. I was waiting for Ozzie to get on.
Yeah. Well, hopefully Ozzie will get on, but he's become more religious. I don't know if he's a minister.
I'm about to say he's a deacon probably, huh?
Oh, okay. I hear you.
So won't you guys let TP tell you about his career and his remembrance in terms of
TP, before you got on, we were asking for the older brothers who brought us in to tell us a little bit about where you're living now, what was your career about, and what is one of your memories of our line?
Live in Yardley, Pennsylvania right now. I left school with a job. My first job actually started before I left campus. And that was with a commercial insurance company that wanted to teach me how to be a underwriter. Okay. I stayed in the insurance business for my entire career. And that included a total of, I think, about 5 different companies. After the first 15 years, I guess, I went to a company that actually insisted that I learn environmental liability insurance. And from that point on, I specialized in environmental liability insurance.
Yeah, did you get it?
Pardon?
No, I was talking to Ozzie. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's okay. Bottom line, I retired in 2015. Okay, from the one of my last companies, where got involved with some nice, interesting projects. You know, environmental liability includes such things as nuclear cleanups, such as oil in the Gulf of Mexico. I didn't say America. You know, and got married for the one and only time in 1994. I blame that on Hensley Jamat and his wife. Since it was a situation where Lynn Jamat called me and basically said she had a woman that I should meet. And I said no, because frankly, by that time in my life, I had lived in California for a few years, and the one and only blind date I'd had up to that point ended up being with somebody who was more of a player than I was. Okay. But Hensley got on the phone. He knew that my fixation with automobiles had continued all the way through my life, and it's still going, by the way. Wow. And he got on the phone and said, look, this woman drives a Jaguar. She might understand your sickness. Okay. And my wife kind of knocks me upside the head every once in a while when I get close enough when I tell people that. But it's true. And we are still married after 30-something years.
Hey,
and,
congratulations. That's
congratulations.
Great. Yeah, man. We've had a wonderful, wonderful life together. And we moved out of New Jersey when I retired in 2015 to get away from all the taxes, and ended up with the house that we love. Never had kids, just the two of us and my cat. Our cat is 19 years old, and she's in charge. And yes, I still have automobiles, plural, and can't help it. That's the way I am.
26 years? That's nothing. Lou, that 26 years? Lou Mitchell's been married all of his life.
Hey, when did Lou get married? Didn't Lou marry somebody from campus? He married somebody from campus, right?
He's been married for what, 60 years?
No.
He hasn't been married for 60 years.
It will be 55
I've been married 47 years myself.
All right.
I've been married 47.
Congratulations.
55 years, man.
Congratulations.
That's a long time.
Congratulations.
Okay, but now Lou married somebody from campus, right?
Elbert, hold on.
Yeah. But you know, I'm gonna let Tom finish his.
Tom,
I don't have to go any further. I really don't have to go any further. I'm still here.
No. Well, at least let us know what the cars are. What are the cars? At least let us know what the cars are.
Currently, you have to understand, I just got rid of one because my wife had wanted a particular car for so long, like 15 years, and had not gotten one. And we never had enough garage space anyway. We bought a house here in Pennsylvania with a 3-car garage, and we had 4 cars. Okay, as I said, just the two of us. Mm-hmm. And to be honest, she had 1, I had 3. Okay.
Right.
And she came to me recently and said that she really had wanted this one particular vehicle for 15 years and never gotten it. And after a certain searching inside my soul, I ended up selling one of my babies and made space for her car, her new one.
That's very generous of you, man.
Oh God, it was difficult because the car I got rid of.
Come on, man, get over it. Damn, it's only a car.
The one I got rid of was a 1994 Jaguar XJS Coupe.
Wow, nice.
Very, very rare car. They made only 300 of them that year with that engine.
Did you have the 12-cylinder?
Well, there was a time that we had both. We had a 6 and a 12. But we sold the 12 a long time ago.
So what'd you get her with all that? With giving up that ride? What'd you get her? Don't tell me you got a Corolla.
Ozzie.
No.
Ozzie,
It's not like that.
Ozzie
It's not like that.
Ozzie can only give us 20 minutes because he's
okay.
church function.
Don't stop fucking with him. Go ahead, Ozzie. What's up, man?
Ozzie,
Number one.
You know, I can barely recognize you, dude. You guys get no.
Oh shit!
Put Ozzie on. That's not Ozzie.
Yeah, put Ozzie on.
There he is. I see him.
What's up,
Hey,
Ozzie?
look.
What's happening? That's Joe Cruz, right?
yeah. Can you see Lou Mitchell? Can you see him? Or can you tell us?
I saw Lou.
He's coming in and out. You guys are just popping in and out.
Yeah, what happened? Oh, Lou's back.
All right, now who's this? Who's this? With the blue shirt on, looking at me like I'm crazy.
That's Rodney.
That's Walt. That's Walt Braswell. That's Walt Braswell.
Nah, that ain't Braswell.
I'm telling you.
Light blue or dark blue?
Light blue.
Don't get me started, because I'll tell him about the time you got your ass whipped so bad you were lying on the floor crying. I just want to be cute. I just and they whipped your ass and you were lying on that floor crying. I just want to be cute.
That was Rodney. I was their pledge master.
You remember that?
I remember that. It wasn't me. I wasn't getting my butt. Walter was crying the blues about me.
I never cried the blues. You tried to blame that ass whipping on me, man. It wasn't my fault.
He told me. He said, "Ozzie, don't you be playing with my ass." He said the next time.
That's what you said. That's just what you said. Don't you motherfucker ever play with my ass again.
You know, I keep remembering that thing, and the one thing that reminds me, it keeps me thinking about that session, was that the only thing that stopped that session was that the paddle broke,
That's
and
right.
even the Silent Sam's broke. Remember
everything broke. Everything broke.
They was whipping hell out of us.
And Ozzie jumped in my face, man. I said, "Motherfucker, you ever do that again?" I said, "What did I do, man? I didn't do anything." You had to blame that ass whipping on me. That wasn't my fault, Ozzie. Wasn't my fault, bro.
There you go. There you go, Ozzie.
Wow. There we go. Now, see, that was their pledge master. That Rodney and them, they were the dudes that really got us in trouble with the whole campus. Remember that line show they put on? Boy,
dude,
almost ran us out of town. What you guys up to? What's happening?
Well, Tom is retired. He's got 19 cars. He's still riding the Trans Am. He's got a Jaguar. He's doing very well. And of course, Elbert is on. He's doing fine. And
Elbert. Let me see Elbert. Let me
Elbert.
What's happening?
What's happening, Elbert?
Elbert has
you know what? I was talking to Mike Askey, man. He said he had a hard time trying to connect with you.
Oh, man. You know, every time I would try to get a hold of Askey, something would happen. He wasn't there. We used to be roommates out here.
That's what I heard when y'all first went out to California.
Oh, man, every time I would try to get hooked up with Askey after we, we left the roommate thing, I couldn't get a hold of him. And,
I guess he was going big time. I think wasn't he over to the guidance?
He was a guidance counselor at one of the high schools. He was the head of the guidance.
It was also a marriage counselor for one while. He threw his shingle up and he tried to do marriage counseling for a little bit.
Really? All right, now when was the last time you talked to Mike?
Oh, I spoke to Mike about a couple of days ago.
Where is he living now?
He's still in San Diego.
Where? Did he say where?
All I know, one time he sent me pictures. So he's in an area that's mountainous, because he could see the view from where he lived. You could see it's a nice view, and he got a nice sized house. He said he's got 7 people came to his house. Yeah, he's got enough room to accommodate people.
But he doesn't want to accommodate you.
See, that's
I wonder why.
Walter, I know that's you talking about me.
You know I'm talking about you, Ozzie. You know I'm talking about you.
All those law.
You say what, Walter? What you say?
All the trouble you got us in, man.
Oh boy, you need to
was that
stop
Al
crying.
Fairey?
You need to
Was
stop
that Al
crying.
Fairey, man?
Yeah.
You need to
Hey,
stop
Al, what's
crying.
happening, man?
I'm good. I'm
Hey.
good. How are you doing?
That's good, brother. You look, you haven't changed. You look the same.
I don't know about that.
Al Fairey?
Got all these
Ozzie
gray hairs,
Roberts?
brother.
Alan, what's happening, brother?
It's all good, man. How you been?
Now, see, Alan and I grew up in New Rochelle together,
New
right?
Rochelle.
Yeah.
Yeah. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing.
How's your brothers doing? How your brothers doing? How's your brothers?
Which ones?
Alonzo and Guy.
And Guy is up. Guy is up in Reno, and Alonzo's in Georgia, and both of them are doing well.
Good.
Yeah, they're doing well. Yeah. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well.
Where you
I'm
living?
doing very well.
Where you living?
Up in Wappingers near Poughkeepsie.
Wappinger Falls? Yeah. You like
Rodney,
it?
you want to get us back on track, man?
You said what?
Yeah.
Rodney lost control.
Come on, Rodney, get it in control. Man. Come on, man. Get it in control.
It's a tough group. It's a tough crowd, man.
Cherry for Ozzie?
You said what?
Get your bottle of Danish Copenhagen cherry for Ozzie?
I don't even drink beer anymore. And it's not because I'm a, teetotaler and everything, but I just got out of it. You know what I'm saying? I just got out of drinking. I stopped for a while, and then it was really no feel to go back to it. And if I drink something alcoholic, it would be a beer on a hot day. That's it,
So, Ozzie, what can you tell me about Lou Mitchell?
Lou Mitchell? I love Lou Mitchell. Lou was a weird little dude when we were younger.
Hey, you know I can hear you, right?
I thought you said Lou didn't come. Oh man, Lou, I wasn't talking about you, brother.
Well, I'll tell you one thing about you. When we were pledging, your athletic ability was climbing those ropes.
There you go, brother.
Yeah. So we were doing something while we were pledging, and we had the lock arms.
Yeah.
You just about broke my arm when you closed up your forearm with them big guns from climbing the ropes. I said, I didn't even think that was a sport at the time. But once you about broke my arm, I said, Lord. So anyway.
Well, he was a New York State champion. He was a New York State champion.
Hey, listen. The year that I left high school, the year after I left high school, they took rope climbing out of the Olympics. Said it was too dangerous. And so the record that I'd set in high school, it's still the New York State record.
Wow.
Outstanding. Yeah.
Well, I can remember one time Ozzie took a gun away from a security guard.
Oh, here we go.
That's right.
That's right.
Atlantic City.
Didn't they put you in jail after that, Ozzie?
Huh?
Did you say you served some time after taking that guy's gun?
No, they put me in jail, and then they worked it where the judge said told them I wasn't supposed to know this, but I figured it out, that he told them it was just around midterm, the finals, and he was saying, well, let's see how he does with his grades, and if his grades are up to stuff, we'll just smack him on his wrist and send him on. But if he shows that he ain't getting in with the school program, he's out of here.
You were lucky, and you were lucky.
I came back to school, and I made the dean's list that year, and so then the judge dismissed everything, and I was okay.
Yeah, because Ron Davidson Ron Davison and I went down to watch your trial at
All
court.
you guys did.
Because we thought you weren't going to get out. So we wanted to say our goodbyes.
He was heading for El Salvador.
Hey, I remember when they brought me into the courtroom. When they brought me into the courtroom, I saw all these guys in the front row, and I started cheesing and waving and stuff, and the judge kept banging the gavel saying, "Let's have some more here." Oh man. So where are you guys at now? Where?
That's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, that's what they're trying to do.
When you came on, everything got messed up.
Look.
As usual.
We got as far as TP.
Hey, I got a brother coming here to pick me up in the next 10 minutes.
Okay, wait a minute. Oz, we need you to close up.
Yeah.
Real quick. Tell us one of the funniest stories that you experienced when you were our Dean of Pledges.
Oh God, let me see. What was it? There was a time. What was it? Oh, that was us. We did that. We kidnapped our pledge master.
That's right, Ron. What do we call very shit bitch? We put a big bag over his head. Remember that?
That's right.
Ron Davidson was the Dean of Pledges. He was y'all's Dean of Pledges.
Came up with the name.
Very shit bitch.
and what was it that was in that box that you smashed over his head?
Bag over his head and kidnapped him.
Yeah, he didn't know what to say. He was scared. Boy.
Shut the hell up, bro.
We just got through with Danish Copenhagen cherry wine.
Yeah, it was the night on the quad when you guys brought me that Danish Copenhagen cherry. I mean, I got so wasted.
Yeah, that was Rodney brought that mess.
Yeah, Rodney brought that mess. And then you guys started messing around, coming up with this nasty line show. And you put that on in the middle of the quad.
It was great. It was great. It was the best artistic line show they ever had on that quad.
all the women kept saying,
Put that picture on, Rodney.
Hey, he almost got us. You guys almost got us thrown off of the campus. They did. The women were pissed. They were pissed.
They were happy. All the women were happy. So look at that.
Hey, Joe Cruz went, yo me llamo Joe Cruz. my name, Jose. What was your middle?
Jose Enrique Cruz.
He said, yeah, it was my name, Jose Enrique Cruz. If you don't dig it, you know what kind of surprise it is.
Yeah.
But you never told us that we got you in trouble.
Because I was in trouble with you guys.
Yeah, but we didn't know.
You didn't know. The women never said nothing to you guys?
No.
Never.
Well, you know what they kept saying? They kept saying Ozzie put them up to it. And I spent half my career up there telling the women, I didn't tell them to do it. I was too drunk. Oh, boy. But hey, look, I got to roll, man. If I don't,
Good seeing you, Ozzie.
Yeah,
good seeing you, Ozzie. Good seeing you,
Ozzie.
Yeah. What are you guys gonna do today? Right now? What are you doing?
We're gonna get organized now.
Right.
Well, send me something on what you do and everything, right?
I'll send you the link. I'll send you the video of the whole.
Yeah, great. Okay.
Ozzie, make sure you provide us with your information, your telephone number,
your email address,
your email and everything.
Yeah, Joe Cruz has got all that stuff.
Holding on.
Joe got all that stuff. Come on, man.
What? You don't know how to use a phone?
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, but you got to remind me. I'm getting old, brother.
We all.
I just turned 76 in March.
God bless you. Well,
76.
Ozzie, before you go,
I
just want you to know, man, that you guys were a big impact on our lives, definitely on mine. And I want to thank you for seeing it through with us to make sure we cross. We appreciate you.
Man, brother, love that. I love that.
Yeah, bro. I appreciate you, man.
Love you.
Appreciate you.
Yeah,
Appreciate
because
it.
I mean, being a DP, it's like being an advisor. It's a 24/7 job. So
Yeah.
so I know what you did for us, man. Like I said, I'm living the dream right now. Okay.
All
Thanks
right,
to
brother.
you.
Same here. All right. Okay, boys. I gotta roll.
Peace
All right.
out.
Okay, man.
Peace
Love
out.
you.
See you.
All right. Take care.
Good job, Joe. Good
All
job,
right.
Good
Joe.
job.
I'm putting his stuff on the chat.
Okay. Yeah. Put it on the chat, and I'll see you guys.
There you go.
Yeah, and go ordain somebody.
Yeah. Right. It's
Hey,
called
you know,
baptizing,
we
Joe.
look,
It's
we look
called
at
baptizing. It's called baptizing,
didn't I see
brother.
go ordain somebody?
I thought
Later.
for sure you were in Rome. I thought you were in Rome trying to pick the first pope.
Later.
Hey, he's gone.
Wow. Thanks, Joe, for hooking that up, man. That's awesome.
Didn't I see John Ricks?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Hey, that's my fellow Alabamian, man. Rick, ain't too
Damn
many people
right.
come to
Damn
Syracuse
right.
University
What's
of
happening there,
Alabama.
bro?
Roll Tide. Roll Tide.
Roll
He ain't got no hair, no.
Tide.
That's all. That's the only reason. He ain't got no hair no more.
That's the way he left me 54 years ago with no hair.
Yeah, well,
So
Right.
now
there are a bunch of no hair brothers on here. Frank Torres is on here, and Frank, you're about 73, aren't you?
No, he
I'm
ain't
gonna
that
be
old.
74 in July, man.
Hey, you
Lying.
old. You
Wow.
old.
I ain't that old.
That's right.
Rick
Old man
Marlboro
up.
is the old
Who's
one.
next? Who's
Rick,
next?
is, Rick aren't you like
Is it Lou?
77?
No, I'm 74. I'm 73.
Where's
Who's
Rick on
next?
the
Lou?
Rick's on the call? Where's Rick?
Walk.
I'm
Yeah,
here.
You're
yeah.
next.
Where?
Walker,
Yeah.
you're next. Walk.
No,
Is that old? 73,
no.
74?
You wait your turn, and then you wait your turn, Frank.
Hold up,
Move,
Frank. Hold up,
move
Frank.
on.
We're going in order. Hold on.
I think, yeah, because Ozzie was number one. Who's number two on your line?
Me.
Oh, you
Yeah,
next.
Lou's next.
All right. So first, let me start with that. I was supposed to be number one in the line, but I didn't want that responsibility. So I said, let me push this off on Ozzie, put his ass up in the front. And so that's how that worked out. So let me see, where can I start? Well, first of all, if y'all know me, I never did anything on time. Either I was early or I was late. So I did graduate, not on time, but I did. I got married way too early. I went part-time for 2 to 3 years, let my wife finish up. Then I finished my last year and went off and became an accountant. I worked for a CPA firm, big CPA firm in DC for a couple of years, then went into corporate accounting for 22 years, eventually became chief financial officer of the last corporation I worked for. And then after that, I bought a franchise, a UPS store franchise, ran that for 17 years, sold that about 10 years ago, retired. I now live in Potomac, Maryland, just outside of DC, and still married to that same Cynthia Epps from Syracuse.
All right.
Oh yeah. She did go to Syracuse University. I thought she went to Syracuse.
You were ahead of the wave on that one, bro.
Yeah, I'm showing you all how it's done. Okay, I'm showing you how it's done, and so that's been a wonderful thing. As I said, I passed the CPA exam. I did all the professional things I was supposed to do. I had a good life. I raised 2 children, and my son Jason, who was born up there in Syracuse, now lives in Brooklyn with his lady friend. They've been living together 25 years. Did not get married, did not have any kids. Fortunately, my daughter did more traditional things, so she's married. She's got 2 kids down here in Maryland, which is why we came back to the DC area.
Very nice.
What else can I tell you? Oh, so we're talking about things that we did while we were pledging on our line, with Walt Braswell, Al Fairey, Ozzie,
Harry,
Dennis Ashby, and
Joe
Jim Martin.
Joe Caldwell.
And Joe Caldwell.
Yeah, Joe Caldwell. So we used to have to, Ron Davidson was our pledge master. We used to have to meet at
Dean of Pledges. Dean of Pledges.
Okay. But we used to meet in this building right off of the quad. I think it was called HBC, but it had like a covered walkway. And people would hang around there, play cards, whatever.
So that was a hangout. That was a good hangout on campus. Yeah.
We used to have to meet there every night to go do our pledge stuff. And I told my brothers online, look, this is cramping my social style. So what I want you to do is when you meet there, be sure that you guys take care of your business and go off to the library before 7 o'clock, because I had a date. And the movie was Bonnie and Clyde, and it was playing in that lecture hall.
Right.
And so I expected the brothers to take care of it. I come walking up there with my date, another young lady from DC, and they're still there. So, I mean, I couldn't just give her money and let her walk in by herself. So we just walked up there like we knew what we were doing. I bought the tickets. We went on in and watched the movie.
And we were all going to whip your ass that
That's
night.
right.
We got our ass whipped. We
Didn't even acknowledge us.
Walked right past us.
That's right. Didn't even acknowledge us.
Got our ass kicked. We're gonna turn that around.
I don't take the full blame for the ass whipping, because we made it this. We knew I had done wrong. Okay, and we knew the brothers were going to be upset. So we said, everybody, when you get back to your room, stay in your room. Don't go out, because the brothers are out there roaming around. Ozzie had to go to the Dingle Man.
Oh, the Dingle Man. Oh, I remember the Dingle Man.
And they caught his butt out there, by Sadler Hall, brought him up to our rooms, because Al's room was across the hall from me and Walt's room. They brought Ozzie up there and had him say, "It's me, Ozzie, open the door." We opened the door. All the brothers come rushing in, snatched us up, took us down into the basement or somewhere, and wailed on us. And I remember you, Braswell, were not happy about that.
I'll tell you today, I hated getting paddled. I mean, I said there was no reason to paddle us.
Yeah.
But you had to do it. But when Ozzie fucked up and paddled, that's when I would get angry. I forgave Lou for that one incident.
Thank you.
We always get our ass kicked. And I was in his face once. Said, "You do that one more time, motherfucker. One more time. It'll be the last time you do it." Yeah. And he was like, "Take it back." Oh shit, Braswell's in my face. And I was serious. I said, "Don't mess with my ass. Don't mess with my ass anymore, man."
Well, and then
Wait,
I don't know.
Didn't Ozzie get his ass kicked by Jerry Laws?
No.
No,
the football players tried to come to one of our parties one time and start some shit.
And Jerry had to step up.
Right.
And Jerry Laws was about to go down with Ron Womack.
Ron Womack.
Those two were about to go at it.
Yeah. Ron Womack wanted to throw down with me one time. And it was because.
Are you serious?
No, you can't be serious.
You fight? Man,
you weren't going to fight Womack.
He was mad because there was something going on, and I was trying to move Walt away from it, and there was some kind of demonstration, and Walt said he couldn't be there. And, Womack got a little upset about it, and I explained, look, he can't be there. He's not going to be at that demonstration. Womack came up to my room that evening ready to whip my behind, and I said, look, nobody was trying to disrespect you. The reason Walt couldn't be at the demonstration, he's teaching little city kids how to swim. He's giving swimming lessons during when you want to have this demonstration. That's all it was. So he said, oh, okay. So we parted friends, and that was it. Because You know,
He chilled out.
I probably would have lasted about all of 3.5 seconds.
That's wild. That's wild.
I wanted to see Jerry and him fight because Jerry had a black belt in karate.
That's right.
He told me that his specialty was pulling out rib cages.
Yeah. Sounds like Milo.
Al, you up, man?
I'm up.
You up?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Professionally, I worked in school system for 37 years. First 12 were in middle schools. I was in Northern Westchester and Southern Westchester in the middle school as a counselor. Also coached high school track for 4 years and won 2 Section 1 championships in track and field.
That's great.
Wow.
Got into administration pretty early. I was like 28 years old and I took over a middle school. And 2 years later, I was about to get married and I said, you know what? I don't want this right now. So I went back. I went to another district and worked as a counselor for a while at the middle school when them kids are crazy.
Yeah, that's right. That middle school, I didn't like that level. I didn't like that.
Yeah, but I learned a lot. I learned how to work with kids there. So then I went to a high school in Newburgh and worked there for the next 25 years. And I was a counselor for a while. Then I became assistant principal for a little bit. And then I wound up as director of pupil personnel services. So I was in charge of the guidance counselors and the social workers for my last few years. So that, and that was it. 37 years. Got married and was married for 44 years. Unfortunately, most of you may know my wife just passed away in January.
So sorry.
Yeah, we were married
Sorry
for.
to hear that. Did your wife go to ask you also?
She did not. No, we met in working together, and
okay.
So that's still dealing with that. I don't want to talk about that too much, but she's a lovely lady and real good lady, and had a beautiful smile and laugh, infectious laugh. So I'm blessed. I had a good thing there. Got 3 boys, three sons, and 5 grandchildren.
3 giants. You got three giant sons. All your boys could play football if they want.
Yeah, that's true. And they're fine young men. They're good guys too. Good, also 5 grandchildren, 4 boys and one granddaughter. I just found out she did a good job on her solo tonight at the chorus. So
where do your boys live? Are they close by? Are they nearby? Do they live nearby?
One lives in Columbus, Ohio. One lives in Chapel Hill, and one lives in Warbingers. Okay. Actually lives here, and also was involved with. I was on the board of directors at my church for 25 years, and also worked with a Boy Scout organization, Christian Boy Scout organization for 20 years. So it's been good. Yeah, no complaints.
It sounds really good, man.
I've been blessed. Really yeah. And you guys, I have to say, first of all, I'm really proud of Ben and what he's meant to the fraternity. I'm so glad that I introduced him to the fraternity.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly.
Yes, you did, bro.
And the other thing is, you guys, I don't really have any humorous stories. One biggest humorous, I was thinking of Ozzie when we had a party at Fayette Apartments. I don't know if you remember, Walt, but Ozzie went to the bathroom and never came out till the next morning.
Never came out. Drunk
clean.
Never came out.
Drunk to the fish. And then
all funky and everything.
We got him out. He started sleeping on the floor crying. I just want to be a Q. I just want to get out, man.
We could not get in there. You know,
I just want to be a Q.
but you guys, you're in line, Little Rascals. I mean, you kind of rejuvenated us. You know, you brought life in the frat, and I know I appreciate it, and so glad that you're doing well, and want to congratulate you on 54 years of sticking together. That's great.
Yes. Second that.
Yeah.
Okay, Walt, you up?
How am I up, man? I'm the last guy on the line. Who else is here?
Nobody. Nobody. Jim will be next.
Did we hear from Elbert?
Yeah. Good. Elbert was ahead of that.
First.
Hey, look,
I can pick Jim Martin out of a lineup, okay? Yeah.
So when I left Syracuse, I followed the tradition that started with Tom Smith going to Rutgers Law School.
Mhm.
He paved the way for us, man. And so I went to Rutgers Law School, and after law school, I worked for the New Jersey Board of Public Utilities, and from there I became a hearing examiner, and then I got promoted to what was called an administrative law judge. So I did that for about, I don't know, 7 or 8 years, and heard primarily rate cases, not rape, but rate cases.
R-A-T-E.
R-A-T-E.
Yeah.
When a utility would apply to get a rate increase.
Right.
Yeah.
Got to know a family called the Kane family. Those who are familiar in New Jersey, one of the Kanes was the governor of the state. But his brother was the president of Elizabethtown Water Company. Met him at a couple of different conferences that they had both statewide and nationally, and he always got me to be his tennis partner. At that time, I was playing tennis night and day and got pretty decent at it.
Right.
Next thing I knew, he invited me to join, to become general counsel for the company. So I worked for Elizabethtown Water Company for 27 years. My last years there as vice president and general counsel of the company. And then I retired for a little bit and said, I want to do something else. So I went and spoke with Governor Kane. Brendan Byrne at the time. Brendan Byrne was on our board at the water company. And I said, any chance of me getting a judgeship? He said, Braswell, I'll take care of it for you. So he got me appointed as a judge. And I served my last 6-7 years as a judge in New Jersey. Professionally were great years. I mean, absolutely great. I couldn't have been happier working for any other company that I could think of. I mean, it was just a great place to work. They took great care of me, and I have no regrets about doing that. Got married. I've been married for 40 years. I've got 2 kids. I've got 5 grandchildren. My kids are, I'm very, very proud of them, as we all are. My son was the starting point guard at Yale for 3 years. Wow. My daughter went to Douglas College, which was part of Rutgers, on a golf scholarship. Those of you who play, my daughter's a +1 in golf. I mean, she's a serious, serious golfer. She's won her club championship 4 years in a row. She can kick my ass. I mean, she can outdrive me by 50 or 60 yards. She can really, really. And it's been good, man. We have a house in Allen. Fortunately, got a chance to spend some time at my house a few weeks ago. We have a house down in Venice, Florida.
Beautiful.
It's nice, nice house, nice golf course. And then we have a house up in Martha's Vineyard that we built 35 years ago.
Wow.
So we spend our winters down in Florida, and we spend 5 months up at Martha's Vineyard. So that's my life story. Yeah, that's it. It's all been good.
It's been great. Yeah.
Very lucky.
Sounds good, my man. Sounds good.
Right people at the right time.
Walter, who followed you down to Rutgers? Tom, I know Tom kicked it off. You were there. Was Joe Caldwell at Rutgers with you?
Okay, I was going to get to Joe Caldwell, and I were roommates in law school.
Oh, wow.
Joe has done spectacularly. I can't even tell you how successful Joe has been as a trial attorney. Joe's house, you can fit 3 houses in Joe's house. I mean, it is huge.
So what's he got? He has about 10,000 square feet.
That's right. That's right. When you go into his house, he showed me this panel. You press this panel, and it's a room where if he had to hide somewhere, if somebody broke, because he does criminal law, big time criminal law. And he said he had to have a place like that. His basement is the size of, the average house. I mean, it is huge.
He has to have an intercom system. He must have an intercom system to communicate now.
Yeah, well, he's got.
Where does he live? Where does he live?
In D.C.
In D.C.
Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, his wife died some time ago. He has a son. I'm not sure what his son is doing.
I think he just graduated from graduate school.
Okay.
Yeah.
But professionally,
I think he's something in the, like an agency, like a sports agent, or trying to get in that kind of field.
Okay. But as an attorney, you can't be too much more successful than what Joe has done as a criminal trial attorney.
Yeah, Google him, guys. You'll see.
Yeah, I like to hear.
Yeah, I'll Google him. Yeah,
big time. So,
hey, Walt, did you when did you last swim competitively?
Well, you know, after law school, I said the only time I wanted to go in the water was to do some body surfing or surfing. I didn't do any more competitive swimming. I got hooked on tennis, man. I played tennis night and day. We built a tennis court in our yard. I used to play night and day. Then I got hooked on golf, and I played golf night and day. You know, so.
Well, that's great.
Hey, Walt.
That's
hey,
nice.
Walt. I remember one time Harry, and you were down a challenge to play.
Yeah, Harry was very good.
Yeah, him and Harry was because Harry was good.
And
Harry was good at that and basketball. He could play basketball and he could play tennis.
And he used to talk about playing golf too. I mean, Harry was a really good athlete.
He played that putt.
Yeah, I know he did putt, but he was a real good athlete.
He was a very good athlete. That's most definitely.
Yeah. So, but that's it, man. In a nutshell, it's all good. You know.
All right, Rodney, you up, Rodney? You up, Rodney?
What do you remember about our line? Anything in particular?
About
our pledge line.
Oh, our pledge line, man. You know, when I was a kid, my oldest brother used to always talk about the Qs. I mean, I didn't know. You know, I grew up in the Bronx. I didn't know what the Qs were, but he used to always say, "Man, you know, I wish I could have gone to college and become a Q." He unfortunately went into service to get it taken care of and then go back to college. But he didn't know that they were taking all young Black men, particularly from the inner cities, sending them to the Marines and telling them, yeah, you served 2 years and you're finished. But they didn't tell you were front line, your chances of coming home was slim to none. Yep. So he never made it back. You know, he never made it back. But I always remember him telling me that he wanted to be a Q. And that stuck in my mind. And I a lot of things that I've done in life was because of things that he wanted to do. And one of them was, in fact, to be a Q. So, you know, it was all good. All good.
Very nice.
Who's up next?
You.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess that's right. Yeah. Ace. See, I was raised in Brooklyn and Queens. Went to Brooklyn Tech. Didn't know anything about HBCUs or fraternities or sororities. Didn't know anything about them. I wanted to be an engineering major. Syracuse recruited at my high school. So I went to the incoming, I applied to Columbia, applied there, MIT, a couple places. But Syracuse was offering me the most money. So I went up to the incoming freshman class weekend. May 1970. May 1970. And that Friday evening, the Qs had a wine tasting event.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah. And the next night, they had a party.
Oh, yeah, we had some serious parties.
And I said, I'm coming here and I'm pledging Q. Period.
Wow.
That's what motivated me to accept the scholarship and show up.
I never knew you were trying to be an engineer, Rodney. That's the first I ever heard of that.
First time you heard that.
No. I was in the engineering college. My freshman year.
Said Bama didn't see you in any of his classes. That was the problem.
I sure as hell did.
We were in different classes. They kept the Negroes separate, you know.
Yes, they did.
Right, they put us as roommates all together.
Yeah.
So the guy on the line named Skip Emery.
So my freshman year, of course, I got online. But I was having difficulties academically because I was having so much fun wanting to be a Q. So Ron Davison and Ozzie tutored me while I was online to get my grades up. Ron tutored me in chemistry, and Ozzie was helping me with one of my freshman classes. I had to do a writing or something. Make a long story short, I didn't know what I was getting into at the time. I'm from Brooklyn, Queens, going upstate New York. It was beautiful that incoming freshman weekend. Man, when that winter hit, I was like,
oh yeah,
when that hell am I?
Down, man.
Oh my God. So the whole line, we went down to the Army Navy store. Got boots and Army, those long Army coats.
Yep.
With the big pockets on the inside.
Yeah.
And climbed up that hill. But what I was mostly excited about being at Syracuse was the football players at that time, the black football players. I remember this. We had a demonstration on Marshall Street.
Yeah.
And this cute honey I was trying to talk to, she was a junior. I had no business trying to talk to her, but I was trying to talk to her. And this white horse with a police chief on it comes flying down Marshall Street, and I grabbed her and pulled her out of his way. He almost trampled her.
Wow.
I still didn't get nothing though.
What do you say? What do you say, Rodney? You didn't get nothing. What do you mean nothing?
Nothing. I gotta thank you.
You got no compensation.
No compensation. No fringe benefit.
Because she knew you set that shit up. That's why she knew you set that shit up with the horse and all whatnot.
Lord have mercy. So when I got out of college, I stayed in Syracuse. I can't think of the guy's name. I can't think of his name at the moment. He wasn't from Kappa Chapter, but he was working in government, lawyer, black lawyer.
Roy Hines.
No, it wasn't Hines. He wasn't a lawyer. And I went to him and said, hey, I'm looking for a job. And he hooked me up with a job with the county. That was the first
you talking
time.
about Langston? You talking about Langston, right?
Yep. That's who it was. Yep.
He was a judge. He was a judge.
He became a judge later. That was my first introduction to how the fraternity helped one another. Great. It got me started. I married a girl who graduated from Fisk, who was from Syracuse. Her dad was a police officer. Her mother was a teacher. And we've been married come this June, 50 years.
Wow. Congratulations, man.
That's right.
Congratulations.
Yep. I tell you how funny it is. Ben met her when she was in college. Ben drove down with a guy from Syracuse. I can't think of his name. To a football game. Syracuse, Howard University. Was it Howard?
What? Not Howard. No.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. It was an exhibition. Yeah. Well, out of conference game. And the gentleman from Syracuse that Ben came down with knew her. She was a cheerleader for the Fisk team.
Mm-hmm.
And never thought nothing of it. I was in college, But turns out Ben knew her before I did.
But not that well.
No,
not that well.
On the shield. That's correct. So I got married, moved to Albany, New York, worked in the legislature there, was active in the community, raised 2 kids, boy and a girl. We sent them both to Atlanta, Georgia. My daughter went to Clark Atlanta. 2 years later, my son went to Morehouse. We've relocated down here in 2007, somewhere around there. And we've been living down here ever since. We live in a little city just outside of Atlanta, like a suburb section of Atlanta, not far from the airport, called City of South Fulton. What I've done most of my career has been involved in, my major was real estate and urban development from the Whitman School of Management. I transferred out of engineering college into the business school in my sophomore year. I said, hell with this. My grades were too low to just stay in there. So I graduated with a business degree in real estate and urban development. I've been a commercial realtor for the last 20 years. I've done business consulting, raising capital for businesses, helping to develop projects, both business and real estate. And I'm semi-retired right now. My fondest memories, well, two fond memories. One was the frat house on University Ave. Great. Bama was the money changer. So that way we paid the rent. That's what we knew we were gonna pay the rent.
Lord.
But it was a great experience for me in undergrad, was being on campus in a frat house. Now, it wasn't like one of those frat houses over there, the mansions, but to us, it was a castle. Out of that house, my second fondest memory out of that house came the tantalizing 22. Do y'all remember the tantalizing 22?
I do.
I married one of them.
There you go. There you go. There you go. I believe Ben came up with that shit because I don't know anybody else that would have thought of that shit but Ben.
And I got that from
I tell
Penn
you one
State.
thing, it got
I know,
me back
right? We
got me back
visited
up on
Penn State
campus,
together.
man.
That's right.
Got
That's
me
right.
back
Ben
up
brought
on
it back.
campus.
Yep. Yeah, Ben brought it back from Penn State when we were traveling. That's right. What a great experience. Because what happened was we were the only Black Greek organization on campus. After the tantalizing 22, yeah, we were the only Black Greeks on campus.
Right.
After the tantalizing 22 and over, half of them charted the Deltas, the other half charted the AKAs, and then the Alphas and the Kappas popped up.
Yeah.
So we, because of you guys bringing us in and being the crazy Negroes we were and Puerto Ricans that we were, yeah. The chapter has grown tremendously over the years.
Yes.
It's been fantastic, the growth I've seen and the progress. And Ben's going to give us an update in a minute to give you guys a little insight in terms of how he was able to keep it going. But that's my story, gentlemen. And again, my son is a Q. He went over at Morehouse, side chapter. Ben read him in. So yeah, Uncle Ben read him in. Just a quick story before I turn it over. My son was getting into trouble in Albany, trying to hang out in the hood. So my mother-in-law and father-in-law lived in Syracuse, and we would travel back and forth, and I'd hang out with Ben and whatnot. So one weekend I came and said, Ben, take this Negro and show him where you work. Ben came and picked him up in this fly car. Oh, man, my son was so happy. I'm going out with Uncle Ben. Man, Ben scared him straight. And he's doing very well right now. He's doing very well.
Extremely well.
Thank you, Brother Ben.
Extremely well.
I don't know if any of you guys are interested, but the Knicks just beat the Boston Celtics again.
Again?
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
91-90, and they were down.
How much?
Oh my
They
God,
were
that's
down by at least 10, 15 points at one point.
Great,
I
great,
think
great.
Down by 18 points
Great.
the other night. They came back again tonight and won.
Yep,
Yeah.
91-90.
Right.
Just
They're gonna
ended.
sweep 'em.
Brunson hit two foul shots at the end.
Brunson is tremendous, man.
Amazing. So they got home court advantage. They got home court advantage now, right?
Yeah,
That's right. They're
going back to the Garden now.
They go to the Garden for the next two games.
Sucky.
All right, sorry for the interruption. This one.
That's good news.
No, I want to hear that. I want to hear that.
No interruption.
But yeah, I guess I gotta say, I came out of Brooklyn, and sometimes things are all around you, but you never know where they are. And I know a thing about Omega Psi Phi. I mean, they had Zeta Psi right there. They had Kappa, Omicron uptown, Epsilon chapter. I know a thing about nothing. And so, I get to Syracuse and have a little fun. And then I'm on the track team. I'm with Al. And I guess Al said, well, he ain't too bad. Let me bring him around. He might do some credit.
A little rough around the edges. We can smooth him out.
He might do some credit,
Okay.
And so I came to the Smoker. I remember I came to the Smoker, and of course, Ron Davidson gave that exciting quote. He said, "One thing you know about the Qs, we go up the fuck." I said, "Oh shit, this first for me." This is the first for me. You know, and so, you know, and things been good. Like I say, and the joke is, here it is. Okay, now my birthday being October meant that I crossed when I was 18. So I crossed May 7th. That Sunday, y'all made me the boss list, May 9th. So
wow.
I've been on Omega all my adult life. I mean, I'm 72 now. So all my adult life.
Yes.
And
Sci-fi.
and we did a lot of stuff, me and Rodney did a lot of road, on the road trips and whatnot, going to different chapters, educating the lamps along the way. And then
Criminal enterprise.
and then of course came 1973, where, back in those days, if you missed 2 conclaves in a row, chapter got suspended. So I end up, when you look around, everybody said what to do. So I said, okay, it got to be done. So I end up hitchhiking to St. Louis to save the chapter. See, a lot of y'all don't even know that,
I remember.
To save the chapter.
Where was it held? Where'd you hitchhike to?
St. Louis.
St. Louis.
You
Missouri.
hitchhiked from Syracuse to St. Louis?
Yep.
How long did it take you to do that?
Forever, but I got there. And when I got there, all I had was the check for registration. I had no. Dr. Ray, Andrew Ray, who was the court rep at the time, saw me come into the lobby and said, "Damn, I have a little suitcase and stuff. I had one suit, 2 shirts." He said, "Where you coming from?" I said, "From Syracuse." He said, "How'd you get here?" I said, "Hitchhike." I said, the chapter was going to be was going to be suspended if I didn't get here. And then you had 2 of the brothers that me and Rodney met at Penn State. They had a double room with 2 chairs and a coffee table in it. I put them together down my bed for a week.
Whoa.
Dr. Ray fed me. I ate hamburgers and French fries for a whole week. In fact, at the undergrad luncheon and the founders banquet, when I got done with my plate, you could put it back on the shelf. It wouldn't drop gravy on that mother. That was clean. And Carl Jenkins and Greg Pearson from Zeta Psi drove out there, and I got to ride back home with them.
Wow.
That's a story.
That's a story right there, man.
That's take care of that.
That's a serious testimony, Ben.
Serious chapter.
That's right.
And but like I say, but it's due to to you guys, okay? Because part of, the hazing piece sometimes it has its place, but it can go out of line. But the main thing that y'all are trying to teach us is, if not, why not? And they say, man uses 10% of his brain, black people use 6%. Y'all want to get us use the other 4%. There's nothing you can do if you apply yourself. And that was what you guys taught us. If not, why not? Why can't I get what I need? What I got to do? And we pushed that to the nth degree. So after graduation, I worked 5 years for the city of Syracuse, and then I went to the Division for Youth for the state, and I did 28 and a half over there. And because the city job was on the same retirement system, I ended up with 33 years, and then they added 2 more because I started work prior to July 76. So I ended up with 35 years of service because I retired in 08. And they say the maximum was 55 and 30. I retired in 08. So I've had 6 Saturdays and a Sunday for about 18 years.
That's good, man.
But in my, I guess, like I say, do the Al, I guess I became a professional Q kind of.
Yes, you did.
I mean, like I said, I ain't Mr. Conclave. I don't know, 86, at least from since 86. We're talking 40 years.
Wow.
Right, man. You man.
And like I said, I had the privilege of being a district representative. Okay. you know, which is in charge of the 5 states: New York, New Jersey, Maryland, Delaware, Pennsylvania. So whereas, you know, I sign my name and you in or you out. Plain and simple. So that's why maybe I took a hard line when we were joking about that thing going down south, because I'm in the mix.
Right.
And when Andrew Ray became the Grand Bosselus, I was his assistant to the Grand, you know. And so wherever he goes, I go. And of course, you know, later on, I've been the advisor to Kappa chapter for the past 10 years. I've been advisor to Kappa chapter, and we've been successful. You know, it's been a few times we've had to call on some of you brothers to send some change, you know, keep us going. But we've, you know, and happy to say that the folks here on this call, you know, have donated, help us out, because things have changed since COVID. You know, whereas before you could throw a party and you know, we could decide on Thursday to throw a party on Saturday, no problem, for a fundraiser. But things have changed with the fraternity. You got to have insurance now. Insurance is $1,000 a year for undergrads, $1,300 for grads.
Wow.
You can't function without insurance. All right. Anytime you want to have a party, you got to put in what they call SEC forms, especially events checklists. That got to be okay before you had a function. You got to have security. That's why we don't do nothing that's not on campus. You got to have security. All right. There's a lot of interesting parts when people say, "Well, why can't they do this here?" Things done changed since 1980s. You know.
So are these Syracuse rules?
Yeah. No, fraternity or Omega Psi Phi rules.
Okay.
Omega Psi Phi rules.
Okay.
And you breach those rules, and they can put you on suspension. Okay. Wow. Because remember, we are guests of the university. If the university says tomorrow, "I don't want you no more," the party's over. You know, and lucky to say, we in 103 years, we haven't had any incidents with the school. In 103 years, we ain't cost the fraternity a dime. Okay, we've been the jewel of the 2nd District.
Wow. How is the chapter doing now? I mean, is it still active? I mean, like how many pledges?
Bro. Let me finish, okay? Let me finish. In the past 10 years, we've been chapter of the year for the 2nd District 5 times.
Wow.
In the past 10 years, we've been scholarship chapter of the year. We've been scholarship chapter of the year in the district 6 times. We just finished up having back-to-back district scholars. The district scholar gets $5,000 from the district and $10,000 and $5,000 more from Life Membership Foundation. The past 10 years, I've been advisor of the year 4 times. Okay, we have a thing. We like I said last year, district conference. We took everything that undergrad chapter could take. We took it all, everything.
Wow. That's great, man.
That's what we're doing.
That's great.
All right, I ain't playing around up here. That's what we do. We win. That's what we do. You know, and
I like it that you win academically. See, I like academics.
Oh yeah. Like I said, Tyler Gentry, he was district scholar this year and district scholar last year. Okay, this boy has collected $26,500 on an $1,800 investment. Okay, right. We had one kid this year. He got the Charles the Herman Dreher scholarship. That's $3,000. We have another one of the kids got a Founders Scholarship. That's $2,500. They have everything they call the Purple Badge Award. If you have a 3.2 or better, your first year you get a purple blazer. Second year you get a gold blazer. Third year you get a watch. We got 2 kids this year got purple blazers. The other 2 got the watches. All right. Kappa chapter is up there.
That's great, man.
You know, they're up there. You know, we've done what we needed to do. All right. But you know, but on that note, this year I'm retiring.
Who Who's gonna take your place? Somebody.
Hey, that ain't rubbing that right now. I'll give him the chapter 10 years.
Sure have.
Okay, because I was supposed to have, my goal was to step back in 21. When I had 50 years with the frat, I was gonna step back, but then COVID hit. I couldn't leave him in the lurch, and then we ran into a problem academically in 22, and I had to step in to save the chapter once again. All right, but these are things that's being done that it ain't talked about a lot. Because those who know me know they know what people were doing.
Yeah.
All right. But this is why we're still on the yard. I mean, when you go to Oracle, you go to Megan, you can see the picture of our kids doing stuff that that you be proud of. Our tradition that we do now since I've been around is the first meeting of the year. It's a formal meeting, ritualistic with the kit and the whole thing. When we leave there, we go Twin Trees, get some pizza and wings. The last meeting of the year, we have a same ritualistic meeting. Then we go to Texas Roadhouse and have dinner. All right. They like Texas Roadhouse because I get you free refills on the sodas, so they like that place. So we go there, and we do that. That's our tradition. None of that foolishness, because they know I have no problem getting rid of them. Okay, I mean, I mean, we have. I mean, it hurts, but you got to do what you got to do. Because we had in 16, we had some who were pre-pledging, and I had to give them a vacation. Okay, and it was set. Well, you should how kids think. I keep telling them, I wasn't born old. I was young one time too. And then,
do they believe you? Do they believe you?
And they try to flim-flam you. And I tell y'all what, because the frat has two ways of dealing with things. First, if it don't cost us no money and if nobody gets hurt, you have leeway to work. I said, I'm gonna put y'all on a 1-year in-house suspension. Okay? No step-in, no paraphernalia, no nothing for a whole year. After that, if you abide by it, bring you back. If not, then we have to go to a formal. Put your name on the website, the whole 9. I had it. I wrote it up, had him sign it, and had it notarized. So myself and Dr. Ray went down to 9th District at the district meeting, and they had their line show. And normally I wouldn't let it go on without me, but a lot of parents have already bought tickets because right now the probate show is a big thing now. I mean, they have it in the auditoriums. It's a big thing, and so I had, and one of the kids called me that morning. I'm at the airport. He called me and said, "Brother Ben, what can I do?" I said, "You can go to the show." I said, "So you have the same privileges as a Circuit University student. You can go to the show and go home." I said, "All right." So I had a couple people there, and I said, "Well, how'd it go?" They said, "Well, they didn't quite follow what you said about it." I said, "Okay, no problem." I said, "I'll take care of it when I get back." But then somebody videotaped that show and put it on YouTube. These jokers up on stage wearing more paraphernalia than all of us put together, high-fiving and whatnot. Came back. So it went from a 1-year in-house to a 3-year formal. Okay? Got to do it because they're testing you. Will you pull the trigger? Got to do it. I ain't got more problems. and the old ones come back because we got the undesirables who want to come around and try to get the young boys in trouble. They already know I'm gonna deal with them too. Don't bother me. Because if you're willing to put everybody in trouble, if you're willing to try to get the young guys in trouble doing something that ain't supposed to be doing, then you're not my friend. If you ain't my friend, I ain't got no problem doing you. Ain't it simple?
How many friends do you have, Ben?
Huh? 2.
Too many. Too many. Stop.
But on the real side, though, I mean, but that's what we got to do, guys. In order to survive. Like you say, when you talk about Kappa Chapter right now, their names are ringing in a positive vein. That's what you guys have prepared us for. That's what you guys trained us for. That's what you guys wanted to see. Like I said, Al recruited me from the track team. I'm very, very thankful because that turned my life around. It gave me a different perspective. I mean, and even, you talk family-wise, because, like everybody said, I got married once, back in 79. I was married 35 days. My wife died on the Q boat ride in New York City, in New York City, And so the funny part about it, though, if there's a funny part about it, was when I ran for first vice DR in 2000, they tried to set me up and all kind of bullshit going on. Sometimes your own try to get you. And so usually you give your speech on Friday. They said, no, we're gonna wait till Saturday, try to jam him up. So, when they start, and they got the other guy go first. And when they started talking about, what you say, I asked brothers, said, you're of Omega. Yeah, I said, I give an Omega 29 years of my life and my wife. I said, because my wife died on the Q boat ride. And I said, I have yet to seek monetary compensation. Because I said, I'd be a millionaire if I sued the frat. But I didn't sue the frat.
Yeah.
They wanted a dry eye in the room.
Wow.
Because they knew, because people knew what happened, but they never knew who it was. Because it ain't nothing I talk about a whole lot. In fact, like I said, I share it with y'all, but and many of y'all know, who knew me, But yeah, it's so, but like I said, so I value the friendships that you brothers have given me over the years. Like I said, we talking 54 years. That's a long time,
Oh,
it's a long time that we can call. Like I said,
We're still alive.
I said, we couldn't find Rick. I found Rick to an AKA I knew in Buffalo.
Yeah, I know.
But you guys have done a lot for us, and we're thankful. I say, we don't say it enough because we don't see you enough. But trust me, the principles that you guys set in us to get us going on, get us started 55 years ago, 54 years ago, it paid off today.
Yep.
So I'm gonna get up my soapbox. Rick, you up.
We thank you, Ben.
Oh, Ben, before you switch over, how many brothers have gone over since we went over? Do you know roughly at our chapter?
I know we have 200 and something, I believe, total.
Okay.
But I'm not quite, but
a couple hundred.
It got to be,
Yeah.
Since then, and we've had guys come through, like which called Sadat Singh, who came through, Captain in 1938, and he's big over at the military building. So a lot of things that come through, frat brothers have stepped up that we need to know about. Get to the Kappa chapter.
Okay. Thank you, Ben.
All right, brother. Ben. Yep. Ricky, you up?
Okay. Well, thank you, brother Ben. I tell you, you're amazing. And thanks for finding me. Getting back into the frat is that so long. But let's see. Well, I graduated with you guys in '74 and I went in the Navy. I didn't have to go to Vietnam, and but I had a great time at Syracuse. Thanks, and of course, Walt, Braswell, introducing me to the Qs because I was, I just wanted something that was different, and it was. I never knew about the Qs before that, and what got me though, tumultuous times where we had all the riots and everything at Syracuse and our freshman year especially, and of course how they put us, integrated our campuses with, we all had roommates that were black, right? That's the way they did it. They thought that was the way they going to integrate everybody. But but I think we were close. We were closer than I had friends who went to Howard and places that were all black schools, and they weren't as close as we were because I guess we had to be, right?
That's right.
But thank you, again for introducing me to it, and
I'm glad I met you.
and
Good.
like I said, I had a long 54 years with the Frats, but you know, life has been busy for me, has been busy for all you guys. I went to the Navy. I went 23 years, and I was some reserves and some full time, and retired. And then I went to start teaching, and I taught for 26 years. And yeah, those up. That's a lot of years too. So I've been retired though since 2015. Married twice. Married and divorced once, and then married in my second marriage was going 28 years. Then I'm widowed now, and believe it or not, my son is graduating from Georgetown Med School next week, so I'll be going down to DC.
Well done.
Yeah. Yeah, even though he wanted to go to Syracuse, but anyway, he's gonna be a plastic surgeon.
All right.
Yeah.
Some money.
Yeah, I just have one son and one daughter, one in San Diego and Georgetown here in DC. And it's just me now, because like I said, when my wife died about 5 years ago now, so things are different. But I had a great time at our reunion, and when we came in September? Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That was great. The pictures and everything. And I didn't get to marry any of the Delta girls, though I did go with one, Pam Brown. I remember her. And had some great times. I can't remember the best times I had, but I just know that we did party a lot. Love the line shows, the attention, and I love purple and gold.
Right.
All right. All right.
All right, Bama. You up?
Oh, wait a minute, Rick. What do you remember from our pledging program that stood out?
Well, I wasn't big into the paddling part either, but what really united me and united us, I think, was the cardinal principles. I still remember, uplifting manhood and perseverance and
friendship,
and I was getting there. But those are important, and those things that
uplift,
manhood, scholarship, perseverance,
perseverance. Yeah.
But
the uplift was the one. The uplift was the one.
Yeah. But once again, though, that's what unites us. I mean, that's what brings us together, wants us to do things for service. I mean, I've been in service, been teaching. I was a special ed teacher too. And I still involved the swimming.
Great.
I do I coach for 40 years. YMCA mostly and USA swimming, but
oh really?
Yeah, my kids were swimmers and they went to college and swam and all that too. So, but at least I didn't do anything real crazy like in the Navy. I didn't go into to be a SEAL, though they wanted to try to recruit me, but I'm glad I got out of it.
Yeah.
At least I got to be a naval
officer. You made a good
officer.
assassin, man. You made a good assassin, swimming out of the ocean with a knife in your teeth.
I'll be dead by then. Okay, Ben, it's yours.
Oh man, come on, Rick. There's a lot more you got there, man.
Oh, what else is there?
But you coached swimming, you said, for a number of years?
Yeah, 40 years, yeah.
Where?
A lot of kids. I'm Buffalo area, yeah. YMCA's and swim clubs and stuff like that.
Great, man.
You've been coaching a long time when your doctors are my cardiologist. I taught her to swim when she was 10. Now she's 40. I'm like, oh my God. But that's all right.
Spent all those years in Buffalo. You deserve a medal, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I live out at the beach now. I still live outside of Buffalo, but Still like Buffalo, yeah. Even though I lived in Virginia Beach for 20 years, though. So
Yeah.
we all move around. So
Wow.
Virginia Beach, you were right near where I am. That's where I live. I'm about an hour away from Virginia Beach.
you are where?
Yes.
What
Elizabeth
part?
City, North Carolina.
Oh,
North
Elizabeth
Carolina.
City. Yeah, oh yeah. That's
I'm about an hour away from where the Wright brothers flew the first airplane.
Yeah.
yeah, I know that area, yeah. But I was there in the 70s and 80s and 90s, yeah.
Oh, I wasn't there. I was in Syracuse then.
Oh.
Bama.
All right. Well, hey, what can I say? I knew about Omega Psi Phi when I first got to Syracuse. Not so much about Kappa chapter itself, but I had, of course, I was familiar with where I come from in Alabama. You hear about Omega Psi Phi in football, and that's something you grew up with a lot. So very familiar with the fraternity and football program. So when I got to Syracuse, I didn't know there was a chapter there until one day I guess I saw a flyer somewhere that they were having a smoker or somewhere, and I said, "Okay, let me go check this out." And that's how I started up with it. And I guess the thing I remember is like right after we got started, they put us all in a car and took us out somewhere and told us to take our boots and shoes, the socks off, and threw them in a bag, and tied all our eyes up, and then left us in the middle of a cow field, and we kind of had to walk back to campus. And I would say, well, I guess the party's on. So that's how it started. Okay. So I kind of had an idea what I was getting into, knew about it. Got a cousin who was a Q, a couple of people, like in the state of Alabama, you either Roll Tide or War Eagle, you're either Q or Kappa, pretty much. And that's how the life is lived. But anyway, I went to Syracuse all day. I guess I'll be honest with you, the first time I ever knew today, after 54 years, that Mr. Rodney Littleson started off being an engineer, because he certainly never mentioned to me and got So anyway, but then I went to Syracuse, engineering. I tell you, it almost killed me at school, but I was very fortunate. Worked very hard. Finished up, and I remember I thought I was going to get ready to head on back to home after school. I had a girlfriend there. She had been like a Q Pearl and whatever, but I thought I was going. And I remember, I think Rodney and Ben had got some kind of summer job and something, and I was trying to get a summer job. And after I finished, all I remember was 2 weeks after I graduated my degree in engineering, I just went downtown Syracuse just trying to get a job till September started. And I had hey, we got a permanent job for you tomorrow. That was it. I've been working ever since as an engineer. Along the way, I guess I had a stopover at Johns Hopkins to get a master's in finance. Career was kind of, interesting in terms of the degree in engineering and getting registered as a professional engineer. Basically trying to, keep up with a family. My wife, who's from Syracuse, she went to Syracuse as well. Like I said, she was a Q Pearl on the lamp court, actually. Road J's lamp court, as a matter of fact. She was a year behind me. We got married in 79 after about 7 years of dating here. And we were married for about 43 years, but dated till about 51 from the time she was a freshman and I was a sophomore. But she passed 3 years ago, unfortunately. I guess one of the things about the way in the career, I guess, I'd gotten to be the program manager for a consulting firm running the utility systems pretty much for the water distribution system in D.C. And you guys who might have lived in D.C., it was a lead and water scare back around 2001. You guys lived in the D.C. area by the time. That was a big controversy where it ended up on the front page of the Washington Post. They were going to try to set an example, and so they're coming after us. They sent a young prosecutor at the time. His name was Eric Holder. You might know him. Was gonna come get me because I was the one who was running the program for DC. Okay, and so one of the people that I went to get to work that helped me, my counsel, was guess who? Joe Caldwell, who was a partner. Joe Caldwell was a partner of Baker Potts. Joe Caldwell made a lot of money off that case, all right, because that was on the front page of the Washington Post for months. All right, and it still hasn't resolved ever since 2001 or whatever. But it was a foundation part of the career. Went on to another firm. Got to be a program manager for a consultant that I run their Navy. And even today, I run their program for like utility systems for the Navy, U.S. Navy. Been to practically every U.S. Navy base around the world, running their electric, water, sewer, gas, steam systems, and it's fun, get a chance to get down and see my buddies down in Atlanta, like Rodney and stuff like that, on business trips, and a couple other places. Jerry Sheila, you guys might know, we look up quite a bit. So able to like help some of the other frat brothers out with some business opportunities and things like that. And it's been fun. Appreciate the camaraderie, the fraternity. One of the things also I think was really very good that I appreciated was I was a dean of pledges twice, Roger's line, and then again another line, and that was excruciating. But but to help be the dean, anybody who's been a dean knows, especially with people like Rodney and Ben running around tormenting the line. All right, all right, and. But it's an experience and meeting the people and the friends that I know. And one of the things I guess that I remember the most was my good friend Joseph Cruz, Jose Enrique Cruz, my buddy. All right, we used to have some good times, jawbone with each other, and some good laughs and stuff like this. Yeah. Joe Cruz strapped me to the hood of his car one day and drove me down Comstock Avenue, man. So we had some good
times. A grown man cry.
Yeah. So,
dude, Bama told me how to drive a Sunday shift. We went down to Brooklyn.
Oh yeah. That's down there with his criminal element down there. Some of his friends tried to take my leather coat off my back, some little basement. And I was like, I'm going to fight in my life. I'm going to whoop some ass and go down hard. But it was good, and I always remember the time we pledged, and May 7th, 54 years ago, we found a pledge. I actually thought it was like a sick joke. I said, "This is real. They're gonna beat our ass." I went home that night thinking they're gonna come out to get us tomorrow. Something else going on, but we all hung together. Mr. Moses, of course, was one of our people who everybody on our line. I think we had a real good line. A lot of different people, a lot of different backgrounds. People from all pretty much all over the place that got to know. And I think without the frat, it's been hard to say we would have gotten a chance to meet these people and bond in the relationship that we have. And it's transcended, quite a while in a lot of different relationships and things like this, like with Frank Torres, and even across the thing with Winford Battle. I mentioned things. It's I've been blessed. I think we've been blessed. Our little rascals. We've lost one, unfortunately, a couple of years ago, but we've had a chance to really, even though we had our lost child who we Ben found a couple of years, Rick. We stayed together and stayed in contact, and I'll always remember that and treasure that time and brotherhood with each other. Okay. All right. Next up, I guess that's Steve, right?
No, Joe.
Joe, that's Joe. That's right.
Joe. Jose Enrique
People
Cruz.
behind me. I had to look at John's back of his head for a long time. So
That's when I had hair too. I
yeah,
had a lot of hair then.
you know, yeah. No, that's why I said I've been married 43 years. I'm living on Long Island. I worked for IBM for 30 years, and IBM is still paying me every month, so that's a good thing.
It is.
IBM allowed me to buy their stock at a significant discount, so I bought that stock, and guess what? I still own it, and they still pay me every quarter. So, but I think the first time I knew of anything about Omega Psi-Phi was when Ben and I were at the HEOP program over the summer. We were up in, I guess, Booster or one of those up the hill, but I knew nothing about fraternities other than Ozzie and Harriet, fraternities were like, what? Fraternity? What are you talking about? But the one that kind of really kind of gave me the direction was Ozzie Roberts. Ozzie Roberts kind of took me under the wing, and back then Ozzie had a car. So anytime I had to get a ride home, Ozzie would always, head into the Bronx, drop me off, and then go up to Mount Vernon or wherever he was, and so I appreciated that, and then he talked about a smoker. I'm like, a smoker? What the hell is that? So all of us were there. They like Bama said, took us out into a field, but we all got back. We all knew each other, and tell the truth, when men go through a hardship, and you sons of bitches put us through a lot of shit. So I can honestly say the Magnificent Seven were not magnificent. And that's why I say we learned a lot, but I think that when men go through a hardship, it kind of brings you together, and you feel for each other, and you start to love each other. But and we did have one time where our esteemed brother Steve Moses said, "No, I'm not shaving my head. Hey, I got too much going. Summer jobs." And so we all said, "Well, hey, if you ain't going, nobody's going over. Plain and simple." And I think that was probably when we realized that we were all one, and we were all looking out for each other. But Ben is, I was out in, I got my master's at West Texas, and then from there I went out to California. I got a job as a personnel assistant with the Los Angeles Unified School District. But like anything else, mom got sick. So it was like, no, it's time to come home, spend time with mom. That's important. So then I got a job with IBM, and that was it. Hey, when you get a steady paycheck, that's a plus. So we all been there, going from Syracuse. Trust me, back then Syracuse was a different country. Coming from the Bronx, man, what Syracuse was like, and it was like, going up for the summer. Oh man, I got things to do, places to be, but thankfully, all seven of us stayed together, and we all went over together because we were brothers, and we loved each other, and we were doing it for each other, because we all said, once we go over, we're going to leave these sons of bitches behind and move on, until they say, no, we're not messing with you. You're a brother. And I'm sure we all did it back then, but and then as I say, I'm still involved. I'm out here at Long Island Cairo chapter. I'm the scholarship chair. Our big event is coming up in June. The Grand Basilisk is coming to our event, so that's a good thing. And we give out $1,000 to each young man. So the past probably past 4 years, we've given out about 10,000 to 15,000 a year to the Central Islip High School kids, and then we expanded to all of Suffolk County. So we got Huntington, Longwood, Greenpoint. You know, any Black or Hispanic young kid that needs a scholarship, and you know, it's only $1,000, but you know, that $1,000 to buy a new computer, buy some books. You know, a cafeteria, you know, program so that at least they could eat, you know. We also started, and not every kid wants to go to college. So we also had, we gave a kid a scholarship because he wanted to be a HVAC repairman, start his own business. And you all know when that AC goes out in the middle of summer, who are you going to call? You know,
Yeah.
or it's in the middle of winter and the heat's gone, who are you going to call? So, and then we gave out a couple of scholarships to a couple of kids that wanted to go to Suffolk Community College, but they were a little autistic, you know. And so, but you know, the thing is to give a young person a chance at an education, no matter what, or a career, I think is what's important. So I'm also involved in Kappa Omicron, which is in Manhattan. They're technically out of the Bronx, but I'm also on their scholarship committee. We gave out $4,000 for young men as well, and I started out with Beta Alpha Alpha up in White Plains, and I'm still active with Beta Alpha Alpha in White Plains, and I'm financial with them. Kappa Omicron, Cairo is my home chapter because it's close to home.
Whoa.
As I'm getting older, you know, I don't want to drive through White Plains on a for a meeting, but you know, Zoom calls have kind of kept me active. I also am the webmaster for the White Plains chapter as well as the Long Island chapter. So I handle all their advertising, and the good thing is that we invited the Grand Boss list to our breakfast, and Kappa Omicron, who's my second chapter, is having a fish fry on the same day, June 14th. So because he's coming here, he's going to them, and then he's going to Jersey. So, which is a good thing. But I think the important thing is, gentlemen, is that we can influence young lives. We can make a difference in our communities. And I think that's important. And we see that whether you're a teacher, whether you're coaching, whether you're a counselor and of course, you know, thanks to Ben, he's kept Kappa Chapter alive, and we appreciate that. Plus, I also think that hopefully my influence brought in Frank Torres, because Frank Torres was a criminal back then. We at least got him on the right track, because he was with another line called the Wild Bunch. He went over in 5, so
he's still a criminal.
And he's still a criminal. But I gave him over to John Ricks. So if there's anything wrong with Frank, I blame John Ricks, because John Ricks beat that boy to death. So, but you know, other than that, you know, I've been married 43 years.
Frank and I going down to El Salvador together.
Yeah, well, that's it. He might, but
send me a postcard.
Yeah, but overall, you know, it's interesting that we've kept touch, you know, with the Tom Pryors, the Elbert Englishes, the Walt Braswells, the Alan Faireys, you know, all those older brothers that you know, back in the day, you know, we still keep in touch, you know.
Yo, where did you go to high school in the Bronx?
Me, I went to St. Helena High School in the Bronx.
Yeah,
that's off the Hutchinson River Parkway. You know, so.
I was supposed to go.
Fort Apache, isn't it? Isn't that Fort Apache?
No, yeah. No, hey, listen, I was in Mott
down in the Bronx.
Yeah, I was in Mott Haven. I was in the South Bronx. So, you know, if you wanted a fraternity, it was a gang affiliation.
Yeah.
You know, other than that, I think, you know, I'm impressed with you gentlemen. I'm impressed with what you've done with your lives. And I think it's important that we continue, one, to stay healthy, you know, because without health, you can't do two, which is family. And if you're still working, which none of us are, but then if you want to do frat, that would be number 3. But you got to take care of number 1. You got to do the cardiologist, the urologist. You know, you got to go get your physicals. That's important, brothers.
You got to do some booty still, Frank.
Colonoscopy.
And I will say, John, I'm glad you're losing weight because you a fat son of a bitch.
I was right next to you.
But you're looking good, my brother. You're looking, and it's always nice to see that you're taking care of yourself. You know, like anything else, we don't say it enough, but, you know, I love you, brothers. Please stay healthy and let's stay in touch.
Joe, you lost a lot of weight, haven't you, over the years?
Yeah, well, you know, hey, my wife likes to cook. I eat.
You like to eat.
That's it, you know. Otherwise, I'd be eating a lot of cereal.
Joe, I got a cultural question for you. Was there any hesitation in joining a African American fraternity?
No. You got to understand, Puerto Ricans come in all shapes, sizes, colors. You know,
they're just like black people. The rainbow.
Yeah, you got it. Well, that's it. You know, we come from Spain. We come from African because of the slaves that were brought there to Puerto Rico.
But Rodney, we had a talk one time. We weren't sure we were gonna let short people in.
Yeah. And we also had Native Americans, the Taino Indians.
Right.
So, you know, to me, and it's interesting because every time I get up to do our scholarship, you know, there's some of those kids' parents that kind of looking at, you know, is this a black fraternity? I said, no, it's not a black fraternity. It's a fraternity of men with the same ideals and goals.
Right.
That
So
is
true.
what fraternity is. It has nothing to do with color. It has to do with men who have high principles, high character, and who have high goals. And we want to share that with these young folks. And that's how I really start whenever we start giving out scholarship money. But that's important, gentlemen, that we make a difference because, you know, in this administration, we're under attack. And you cannot watch the revolution from the television. You got to stay involved. So that's important. But I love you. God bless. Brother Moses, you were right behind me.
I'm right behind you.
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate that.
So 54 years later, you know, it's amazing how I reflect on our involvement as fraternity brothers over the years. Now, I got to Syracuse, didn't know anything about fraternities, certainly didn't know anything about Omega Psi Phi. And I got ushered in with Rodney and Ben. Rodney, who was my roommate, Ben down the hall, and basically the three of us probably became first friends as freshmen. And of course, when they became aware of the smoker, they got me involved, and the rest is history. But it's really from, you know, and then of course, you know, what I reflect on is, and you know, when Rodney and I talk, Ben and I talk, Joe and I talk, it's interesting how we all have a similar perspective about the durability of the friendship these many years later.
Yeah.
Even, and I think Rodney and I were talking about it maybe today or in a recent conversation, as we reconnected with Rick at the last CBT. Literally, it was like no time had passed at all. Literally. Even Rodney and I today were saying, as much as we may have a hard time recollecting things, recollecting events, the days pledging and back when we were in school continued to seem like yesterday. And I swear, I saw Rick, and it's like I had not seen him. I had not seen him since the day before. So it's quite a reflection, and for me, it's been really an education about friendship. Now, my instinct as a freshman was not really to join a fraternity. And it was really on the strength of the friendship with Rodney and Ben that I got interested, and then obviously with the rest of the line. But even more importantly, and I can't tell you how often I look back on those days now, and I'm reminded of how the guys who were our big brothers at the time, how it was so easy to look up to them. I mean, as much as they were about having a good time, you could see what was back then. We may not have known what it was called, but we could see the mentorship taking place in our lives. I don't know that I appreciated it as much back then as I do today, but still today, and I talk to young kids, young guys especially, and I'm trying to be an example for them, to try to share some perspective based on my years of experience. Don't you know, the foundation of those talks always comes back to manhood, scholarship, perseverance, and uplift. Everything I have to say to them will have one of those pillars as part of the message. So, and I tell you, I still think back to as much as there were times of adversity going through pledging, I also remember the times with Ron Davidson teaching us how to take good notes in chemistry.
Mm-hmm. No,
really,
yeah.
Literally, the best way to take notes in the science classes. And again, I look back at that, and I only wish that I had been more mature to take better advantage of the mentorship that was available to us from those guys. But you know, as youngsters, we had other things on our mind, obviously. So, yeah, 54 years. I can't tell you how often I reflect back on that with fond memories, great memories. So, my recollection of one of the crazy things we did, and you guys, I'm surprised it didn't come up as we've been talking. But I think it was one of the times that we needed to find a prank to do, and I forget whose apartment it was at, but somebody's apartment, and we put. I think we ended up putting like water in the flower jar. Putting our biology education to work, because we knew ain't nobody in that house was doing any baking. So by the time they opened up, there'll be all sorts of mold and whatnot growing in their flower jar. So, but it was a good time and good memories for sure. As far as for me, my career has been I've been much of a journeyman in various companies, corporations. Retired now, thankfully, and nothing really noteworthy about those times when I compare it to the durability of these friendships. Even coming out of high school, I can think of a handful of high school friends that I'm still in touch with or have reconnected with. But when I think about my life over the years, and you get into conversations about making friends and who have you kept in touch with, it always comes back to the guys that we were pledging with and that we knew through the fraternity. So it's been a good 54 years. Well done, guys.
Thank you, Brother Steve. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to, there's one line brother who's in Omega chapter right now, Mario Ocampo. Mario was from the Bronx. I didn't know him before he came to campus. He was a free spirit, from what I recall, being online. He was a tail dog. He seemed to love life to its fullest. He was a little mischievous, though. He had a little criminal element in it.
You'll get us in trouble.
A lot of criminal element.
Yeah, so if you guys got any memories of Mario, may he rest in peace. Please share it.
We don't want to share too much.
No.
But Mary, you know.
Let me jump back in for 1 second, Rodney, because I was talking about the the brothers, our big brothers, when we were pledging, and the impact that they had on me. And I wanted to remember to mention one of the brothers who probably had one of the greatest impact on me. Rest in peace, Togi Marshall.
Oh yeah. Wow.
On the beach. On Marshall Street.
A real deep brother. And if ever there were a model for what a mentor was, I mean, I think all the brothers had that in them. As you know, at this stage, we come to recognize what a mentor looks like, and how a mentor behaves. And it's nothing like what they write in the books. You can be being mentored, and you don't even know it. But in terms of the qualities and the kinds of lessons that are imparted on you that you don't even know about, I'm always fondly remembering the relationships we had with the brothers, but especially Togi.
Good point.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I remember speaking at his, I remember going to his funeral, speaking at his funeral on behalf of the chapter.
Yeah.
Well, Frank, what you got to say?
What's your story, Frank?
Yeah, Frank. Turn your camera on.
I started when I met you guys.
Turn your camera on, Frank.
I don't know where to begin, man. Where should I begin? How I got in there, or how I left when I graduated?
How did you find out that you were going to be living in my room at University Ave?
I have no idea. I know one thing. I found your waterbed that you what you do? You spiked it. You forgot to pay rent or something. You let all the water out real quick.
Well, I think Bama wanted me to pay rent before I left, so I said no.
Damn right, man.
But anyway, all I got to say is I had no intentions of joining Omega Psi Phi because I had no idea about Omega Psi Phi. All I know is I moved into a fraternity house because I couldn't take that dormitory life. And that's when I met all of you guys there, and especially Rick, Bama, and I mean, I met everybody. George Garrison, remember him?
Garrison,
even Witherspoon. Remember Witherspoon?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everybody used to come knocking on my door to take me somewhere, and I told them, "Look, I got homework to do." And they would sit in the back. Garrison, remember the room that Garrison used to have? He had it all blue with a bench in the back. So all the brothers would wait right there, having fun while they were waiting for me to finish my whatever I had to do. And then finally, as time went by for about in the year that I decided to join, I said, man, these guys, they're like family to me, man. I feel this connection, and that's how the same idea that Steve was talking about, that feeling. And I said to myself, I want to join. And I remember that day they sent me that letter to put a pillowcase over my head and go to the Saddler and have a pint of Red Lady, I think. Yeah, I never forgot that, boy. I stood out there like it was a blizzard day too, man. It was snowing. And that day I bought this album. Remember that album? It's what's the name of that album? Goddess something, I forgot. But anyway, that every time I hear this record, I keep remembering that time. But to make a long story short, because my phone is starting to run out of power. I mean, that's how I managed to it wasn't that I knew all about Omega Psi Phi. It was the family that I met in that house that treated the way they treated me like family, man. It was like something you just don't break away that easy. And that's how I started to pledge. And it wasn't easy too. I mean, how many weeks we pledged? About 13 weeks?
Back in those days, yeah.
Yeah,
but there was no time limit, man. Anyway,
ready.
All I know is when I graduated, I'm trying to make everything short, but when I graduated, I went through a lot of things, and like what Steve was talking about, those pillars, those 4 pillars: manhood, scholarship, perseverance, That was always in my mind wherever I did nothing but well, everything I did was following these cardinal rules, man, all the time. And I had different jobs, but my first job, I started out as a summer job, and I ended up working I started out as a photo stat man, and then all of a sudden I'm doing everything from photo comps, doing things for advertising agency called Wallach and Harris. And I had to work for two bosses that were partners. One was good and one was bad. So I deal with the good guy, and then when I deal with the bad guy, he would be whiplashing me to get something done real quick. So that was and one of the biggest mistakes I did was having one of my brothers, my real brother, to get a job with me. You know that old saying, two brothers cannot work in the same company. That was a problem because the bad boss that whiplash, he was whiplashing my other brother, and I went right on top of him and I cursed him out and everything. And then I got blackballed out of advertising. That's when I was working there for like 6 years. That was my biggest mistake. But then after that, I went out and I started working for, believe it or not, I was a bouncer for a lot of topless clubs, man. It was good money, man. It was a lot of good money in that, man. 7 days a week. I had no time. I didn't have no time but save money and try to see if I could open up a small business. And then when I did that, I worked with a couple of companies called Adam and Eve. The first one was the living room. Then all of a sudden, everybody wanted me to work here and there because I had that gift for Gabby, So I was able to, instead of going physically fighting people out, throwing them out, I did that before, grab a guy from the seat of his pants and run him right out the door. I mean, it wasn't fun for me, man. It hurt sometimes. But anyway, I saved enough money to get a job to open up a small business, and the idea came from Roger. Remember Roger?
Oh yeah, Roger.
Yeah, Philadelphia cheesesteak. Remember that? He used to talk so much about. Well, I opened up a business selling Philadelphia cheesesteaks. I was on 51st Street in Madison, right in front of the BMW building. For 15 years, I've been doing that. And then I started doing other things besides that. But I don't know. I mean, damn, I only got about 13% of power. How long can I stand?
That's all right.
You can stand.
We good.
Things, but all I know is I did it for 15 years, man. I worked in Chinatown. You know what they used to call me down in Chinatown? And I asked them, what the hell does that mean? You're a crook all day and a crook all night.
That hasn't changed.
And then when I asked the Chinese ladies, I said, what that mean? It means you're a good man. You're a good man. That's not going to mean anything then. But anyway, I had a good time, man, because, I was able to do things. And I tried to get some of my art done, try to go to different galleries, submitting my resumes. And it was a hard time. And then just when things were coming up good for me, all of a sudden this that COVID thing came in out of nowhere. And all of a sudden I'm out of the business. Trying to get my art to different galleries because at that time you couldn't do that. So to make it real short, I'm still doing my art, and I've done a lot of portraits. You know what gets me is I have a whole list of people I did portraits. I even did Ben. Ben, I did your portrait. How was it?
Good.
Yep. Andrew Ray.
Andrew Ray.
And he did
one. Oh man, Andrew Ray was the first portrait I did.
But Ben's came out pretty good, Ben. I'm hoping the likeness was there.
Remember Steve Smith? I mean, I did a lot of brothers, man. But
may he rest in peace.
May he rest in peace.
Yeah, man. Oh, yeah, Steve.
Since then, and I'm still painting.
Yep.
I don't know, what was the brother, what was his name? Harry Brighton?
Yeah, no, Harry Bright went over at Beta Alpha in 1948. He was 90.
Yeah, I remember when he passed away, I did that portrait to give it to his daughter.
Yeah, he was 98. He was one of the older brothers out of Beta. So
Man, that guy really. I was more surprised that he could play a fiddle, man.
He also
he played a violin.
Yep.
He actually played the violin. I mean, he invited me and you, Joe, for a concert, remember?
Yep. But
I thought he meant like to go to one of these regular concerts. He didn't say that he was going to be playing in the concert.
No, he was in an orchestra, but at 98, and he was still playing, which means
wow.
It's got to stay healthy. Got to stay healthy.
So wrap it up, Rodney.
Okay,
yeah, guys.
Wrap it up.
Yep, we're about to close. Thank you so much for your time. I wasn't aware anybody knows about the DC trip in July that's been organized for a group of brothers from Kappa chapter. I'm a little nervous about flying right now, so I don't think I'm going. but they do have an event in DC, and I'm hopeful a lot of brothers in the area will join.
Well, Rodney, let's hope we could do this again with I'll reach out to Hemsley and maybe we'll get Ozzie back on if you other brothers know of any brothers. I know Tom Pryor was on here for a little bit, but
yep.
Maybe we could do this just us 70s, 60s, 70s type brothers.
Yeah. Gotcha. No, that's great. Yeah, we have the technology, man, so we might as well try to do it. It's very difficult to travel to meet in some place these days.
Yes.
I ain't got that kind of budget, but this don't cost much.
Right.
So I want to thank y'all. Will anyone want to leave the good in the welfare message? Or big brothers?
Love you. Stay healthy, and we'll do this again.
Yeah, the big
Rodney,
brother.
thank you, man. Thank
Love
you.
you. Love you.
Keep it on.
All right, brothers.
God bless you all.
God
bless you all.
Yes.
God bless everybody.
Yeah, brother. Like I said, it was great seeing everybody. Like I said, Lou, I ain't seen you in ages, bro. It's so good.
Yeah, that's good seeing Lou.
Yeah, I ain't seen Lou, but now we got you, man.
And Ozzie. I haven't seen Ozzie in an eon.
Well, yeah. I mentioned it. Lou and I hang out up at the vineyard together. He and his wife have a house up there, and we spend time together every summer up there.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, see, the problem is, I didn't whip your asses enough when y'all were pleasant, and I was occupied. I had a young family.
That's
had
right.
A wife in school. I was in school. I'm working. I'm on food stamps. I didn't have the time to come there and get you guys correct.
Yeah, you got snaps. You got snaps.
Yeah, so
thank you.
Harry picked up the slack.
Well, okay, wait. You want to know the story about the food stamps? I'm living out in Marriott student housing, way out there past Manley Field House. This is the old Marriott student housing with these little Quonset huts they built for the World War II people.
I remember.
So we're living out there. I was short on funds, so I decided to apply for some food stamps. But the car I had wouldn't run half the time in the winter. But that's another story. So I was going to take the bus. So I walked to whatever the street was, East Colvin, whatever, and I see the bus come, and it's going up north, up toward Drumlins. I said, cool, I'll wait for it, turn around, come back, take it into the city. I see another bus come, goes north. So 3 buses pass me by. It's snowing because it's Syracuse. None of the buses are coming back, heading downtown my street. So I didn't know that the bus went up, turned, and came back downtown somewhere else in the city. So I got my fro, not wearing a hat because I didn't want to mess up my fro. So my hair is frozen, look like a little Frosty the Snowman head. I end up deciding just to walk downtown to the welfare office. So that takes about an hour in the snow.
That's a nice walk.
I get down there, I shake my head out, and I'm wearing this old, what they call stadium coats, loading coats with the little horn buttons and little rope ties, and the ropes had broken, so I had masking tape around all the little rope ties, and I'm sitting there, and apparently I didn't get all the snow out of my hair, so I'm talking to the lady, and water is running down my forehead because the snow is melting, and I'm wiping my head like this.
Oh, shit.
Just run, and so Needless to say, they gave me the food stamps. Okay.
That's good, man. That's good.
So I was busy doing that, which is why I couldn't get to know all of you as well as I should have, and give you the benefit of my advice. But I had things to do.
That's okay, bro. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. You don't know.
All right. Rodney, you want to play us out or what?
Yes. Let me see. Who can give me a closing prayer? Brother Al Fairey.
All right.
You know how to pray, Al?
Huh?
Come here. You know how to pray?
You can pray. Go ahead.
I believe Deacon Al Fairey can give you a prayer.
Deacon, man.
I'll give you a shortened version. I'll give you a
Al.
shortened version.
Okay.
All right. Lord, we thank you, Lord, for this fellowship, this time together, Lord. May you bless each and every one of us, Lord. Touch our health, Lord Jesus.
Thank you, Jesus.
Help these families, Heavenly Father, our children, Lord. May you be with them. Help us to be back together again soon. In your name we pray. Amen.
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 All right, brothers.
Yeah.
I should have locked in up.
Good seeing y'all, man.
It's good seeing you guys.
Good seeing you guys, man. Good
Great.
seeing you guys.
Good one. Peace.
Yo, Walt, give me a number.
Hasta la vista.
Yeah.
Walt,
Good seeing you, Bama.
Get
give me
it to
a phone
you,
number.
man.
Good
I'll get it to you,
Good
man.
seeing
Wouldn't
you
recognize
guys.
you on the street.
Okay.
Bama.
In Florida, it's
Wouldn't recognize you on the street.
08
Say it again.
I wouldn't recognize you on the street.
908
Bama.
304.
I'm still here, man. Hey, trying to make it.
Mama,
Got it?
you still got that car?
Who got his number? Because I can't hear over them. I can't hear.
Who's number?
Who's Walt?
Walt's number.
All right, I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Put it in the chat.
We're closing up. We're closing up.
What was that?
No, we good. We good. I'm gonna call you later.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Peace out. All right. Take
Good
care.
seeing you. Good talking.
Hey,
to you.
take care.
All right, brothers. Y'all take care, man.
Yeah,
Great.
good seeing
Friendship
everybody.
is essential. Friendship is essential to the soul.
Yes, it is,
All
my
right.
brother. Yes, it is.
Albert, get your computer straight next time so we can see
Yes.
you.
Yeah.
All right.
Get when your
All right.
kids help you out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Stephen, good seeing you too, man.
Good to see you guys.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
All right.
without a doubt, man. Without a doubt.
Thanks, Walt. Thanks, Al.
All right.
All right, man.
Elbert. Oh, there's the Elbert, man. He got his picture.
Oh my goodness.
Good Lord. We got to do this all over again?
No.
Maybe that's a good way to come
out.
out.
Elbert, Jesus.
Maybe that's a good way to go out.
That's a good way to go out. That is the truth.
Okay, guys.